right, hello. We are live from the apocalypse. We are live from the apocalypse. So, and I have Twitch open again, and it's talking to me, and it's a terrible feedback loop. Okay, here we are. We're good. So you think I learned that lesson by now? But you know, we're professionals here at LFTA, and that's what we do. So we're back on our two-headed serpent Pulp Diction adventure in northern Borneo. Joining our group of brave heroes, right? As they battle the forces of evil or something across the globe, right? During the last session, they had a little bit of trouble landing in Borneo. They took a small plane in. Yeah, slight technical difficulties. You know,
Kelly got a crash course in surfing.
Yeah, Kelly Murphy just decided to become a skydiver, which was pretty cool, and did so successfully, which is great. But yeah, ace pilot Spencer Brooks brought the group in to help out with the new Borneo Charter Company. They had requested medical assistance from Caduceus because there was some type of viral epidemic affecting the northern part of the island. And Quentin Shapiro, with the help of Dr. Shekels, got a viral analyzer onto the plane, showed the players or the party how to use it, and they flew off into the sunset, only to be attacked by a bunch of night gaunts on the way in, damaging the plane, despite Spencer's best attempts at his ace piloting. It did manage to land the plane without crashing, where they ran into the British military contingent that's out there, kind of enforcing the quarantine parameters of this area. And Captain Lancaster was more than happy to, talk to them and say some bluster about some nonsense, but ultimately was, you know, not a great person, right? The players found there's a Bupoth, right? Kind of a interesting version of like an elephant, sort of, that was hunted. Oh no, go ahead, Wendy.
I said dream elephant.
Dream elephant. Yep.
How they were describing it when they put one of them on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
And Wendy was able to recognize the lore behind them and realize that they usually come in pairs and they're usually pretty sweet. Around that time, they heard some gunshots from outside, and they'd found one of the locals was trying to flee the quarantine zone, and the British military shot them. So, in an attempt to try to get a head start on analyzing the virus, they went out to try to recover the body, only to have a large four-armed monstrosity about 20 feet tall, kind of looking like a, giant King Kong, almost gorilla thing, run by, grab the body, and run off into the woods, the jungle. To the oh no, I can't hear you, Joe.
Definitely wasn't made of mushrooms or anything.
It was covered with a little bit of some spores or some yellow dust, some yellow nonsense, right? But that was the last thing the players dealt with outside the quarantine zone. They packed up everything. Go ahead.
Well, there's this starry box, and there's an issue with that. As if everything else isn't just enough.
Mm-hmm. One of the other complications is the box of stars that was put on the plane against Quentin's guidance and direction, right? He was pretty mad about it, thanks to Dr. Goncalves just throwing that on last minute. It's been activated and is starting to count down and could potentially explode. And given the last time it was opened, it destroyed Cecil's living room and opened into a death fire pit. Fully activating seems bad, to say the least. So that's another problem. But you have basically a suitcase nuke with you, as the party has packed up into the prepared jeeps with food, water, and your cool bio suits and your viral analyzer as you head into the quarantine zone. Right? Now, moving that direction, you can see away from the army camp and airstrip. Spencer stayed back with the plane to try to do repairs to at least get it functional. The landing gear was pretty messed up, and the wings were messed up, but he might be able to get the thing airborne enough, given some time, right? You start your journey into the quarantine zone. You have two options. You have a small map given to you by Captain Lancaster. It basically points to exactly what you're looking at here. Away from the army camp, you see there's a farm. And you know out at that farm area that they mostly grow tobacco, right? And the farm belongs to the locals. And then the survey camp is for the New Borneo Charter Company, NBCC. And they're the ones that put in the request to Caduceus to come help out and deal with the medical issues that are happening out here. So that's where the survey camp is. The question I have is, as you're heading into this area, kind of moving down these unimproved roads, bouncing around a lot, you know, you see the dense jungle just surrounding you as you move, the airfield kind of disappearing into the distance, you know, around a curve, and now you're completely out there alone with your thoughts and your wits, right? Everyone make a quick spot hidden as you're driving.
Hidden.
Yeah. Get those dice working early.
Okay, I'm gonna use luck for that one because I got a 66 and I have a 65.
Okay, burn a point of luck. Cool. Does that get you a regular success?
Yes.
Cool.
I got a great success.
Okay. Interesting. Nothing? All right, what about Professor?
Like anything to me.
No. Looks good to me. Good pull. Wendy, you feel that something is off, and it's hard to pinpoint, right? As you're... I guess I'll ask, who's driving? Of course. Okay. Look, it makes sense,
Yeah.
but you can shuffle the party order, and I want to give you all that opportunity. But, okay, yeah, no, the driver's driving.
Is the truck a horse?
It could be.
In which case,
I do have this
It's a
really
horse
good
named
ride
Chuck.
skill, but
So.
I'll leave it to Wendy.
There we go. That's slightly off. So, you kind of just have a vibe, Wendy, as you're driving down the road, that just something feels off, right? And you just came from Bolivia, so you were in a different type of jungle, but nevertheless, like this type, very similar environment of like thick brush and just different things that you're used to. But even then, like your senses are just kind of go on high alert, and you feel kind of at times like it's hard to focus on the road. Like maybe your mind is kind of swimming and your body feels a little sluggish, like you're moving through water almost. For the occasional reaction, you can shake it and kind of break out of it, but something just feels odd.
and this is the same kind of feeling we got when the monstrosity was coming out of the jungle.
Slightly different, but this was something that as you've progressed further in, you're starting to feel this more and more. When the monstrosity came out of the jungle, there was like a feeling of obviously fear, but distortion as well, of like that ain't right. And the mind trying to process something very, very clearly that is not supposed to be in this reality as you looked at it. This is more subtle, right?
Who's like sitting with me up front then? And I guess I'm asking the party that, because... Sure. Mr. Lord Davenport, are you, does this feel weird to you?
Yeah. I've been waiting to say it, and I've been waiting and waiting, and this is the most uncomfortable suit that I've ever sat my body into. So yes, thank heavens somebody finally said it.
Yeah, yes. It's not great. I meant like in your brain. How are you feeling?
Oh, alas, I'd say I'm very troubled by box of stars and what's happened recently, and I don't like where we're going in, but are you asking me to take a look around? Like any like I'm assuming the gloves are like heavy and weird.
These suits that you're wearing to paint the good picture are like these are just like just heavy picture almost early scuba suits, right? Just like cloth
Mm.
and like these brass rings that kind of like lock different areas. It's a little improved because it's weird hybrid tech, but it's still just very uncomfortable, very heavy, and very hot in this environment.
Mhm.
Um,
Cecil invents the air quote and goes cronk, cronk.
these
It's like,
mitten-like gloves.
look around, if you will.
Yeah, just like I guess let me know if you notice feeling a little bit.
Oh no!
Fuddled? Oh, that did.
Wendy, where did you go?
Mine is completely lost, disappears from existence. Um, while that is,
He, yeah,
while
he
that,
agrees and like takes some time to. Oh no.
oh no, it'll sort in a second. She'll come back.
Hmm.
There we go. Welcome back.
Hey.
You did it.
I
So,
All right.
go ahead and finish your thought.
No, just just let me know if you're feeling a little bit confused or slow or something. And I guess like she'll probably, because we've been having this conversation, like have a couple of jerky like movements with the steering wheel as we're catching up to normal speed of thought.
Okay.
that
Very
I
cool.
will ask. Yes.
Kelly, in the back, as you're kind of hanging out, looking out the window, just watching this terrain roll by, trying to get comfortable with the vehicle just bouncing around in terrible ways, right? Wendy's a great driver, but this is just a bad road. Like,
Tree root, rock.
yep, it's being called out. Like, there's a couple times where you have to like slow down and go over like a really uncomfortable, angle turn. And it's just like, okay.
Puddle.
Water comes in through the windows. Like, it's okay. You're wearing big old suits. But as you're looking out the window, interesting glints of almost bioluminescence catch your eye, right? Like you see a leaf that is almost neon green shiny, and then whips by as you're going. And like one of the puddles before you hit it has like an interesting almost oil spill film over top of it. And then of course it splashes and it's all dispersed, right? And you drive past you see some undergrowth that's just showing colors that are not normally found in nature, not that vibrant, not that strong anyway, right? And something you just kind of pay attention to because it's weird, it's different, and it's maybe it's a threat, but it's definitely unusual, right?
I'm gonna kind of nudge. Hey Doc, what do you make of this? And I'll kind of point out the vibrant flowers. The other thing seems fine to me. The flowers seem like what kind of flower is that? I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
Fascinating. It looks sort of realer than life, doesn't it?
Technicolor, for sure.
Yeah. If you
Huh.
want to roll knowledge nature, anybody who's looking at this thing, sure. Sorry. If you want to roll natural world, is what it is.
Sure.
Wrong system. You're more than welcome to.
I mean, I
I've somehow succeeded. I rolled a 7.
nice.
Mark that bad boy.
It's stupid.
So, love it.
You read a book once. It's fine.
Clearly.
One book. One.
And Ma's really into tulips.
I love it. Anybody else, or is that the only? Is that the only success? Oh wow. Okay. So this is where it's wild, right? Is that that's regular success for you? So
Yeah.
as you're looking at it, you can. I can tell you this. I can 100% confirm. In no way, shape, or form are these things natural, right? This is not an exotic plant that you've never seen before. This is not a like regional specific thing. This is something that is yes, out of this world for sure, right? And you can know that as a character. Like,
Okay.
nope, that's not supposed to be here.
Cool. I'm gonna kind of reconfirm with the doc and be like, I don't know. The more I'm looking at it, the more that looks, I don't know, alien? That doesn't look like it belongs here on Earth.
Do you think it's worth stopping to check it out, Kelly?
Either that or avoiding it completely. I don't know, I'm reminded of those little frogs that are poisonous, that are really brightly colored. I don't know too much, but I know that ain't right.
Maybe it's worth a look. Hey, Wendy. Wendy, pull over for a second.
Okay. And like, I'll kind of like be shaken out of like the focus that I'm doing for driving. So the like turn over to get us to the edge of the like makeshift road is a little bit less graceful than. So you know everybody's gonna have to like hold the oh shits, and then we'll stop with a nice rock back and forth kind of. Yeah. How are you guys doing?
It's never a bad idea to submit a new species to the National Academy of Sciences. I won't be 2 seconds.
Will I get credits on that?
Absolutely, as primary discoverer.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Come on, help me get a sample.
Oh. Alright, I'll come over and help.
Okay. Oliver and Kelly
You've
hop
got
out
like
of
a
the...
knife and a shovel.
Yeah, you got like a little bend in the road, you know. Wendy brings the truck to a stop. And Oliver and Kelly hop out the back doors, circle around, and off to the side, about 20 feet off the road, there's like a cluster of just deep purple and blue bioluminescent looking flowers that they glow. They look like sweet. They look like lights you would just find on like a New York marquee somewhere, right? Just brilliant colors. As you start to get closer and look, get ready to gather some stuff, you hear some rustling in the bushes ahead of you. So it's like some kind of scurrying around.
How big does it sound?
It definitely doesn't sound like a 20-foot tall foreign monstrosity, right? It's small, like maybe like
like a squirrel?
like a squirrel or a possum or something, you know, like maybe the rat.
Pangolins are from here.
So, I'm sorry, what?
It could be a pangolin. Pangolins are from here.
Penguins? Pangolin.
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 No.
Kind of like armadillos of
He
this,
knows.
Yeah.
this place. And they walk around like little T-Rexes, and they're adorable, and they're the most trafficked animal on the planet, and you should know about them.
That is cute.
They are.
My brain immediately went to when you play Eldritch Horror, there's a thing where you can fight giant, like 10-foot tall murder penguins that are in the Antarctic. So that's where I was like, oh, neat! I've got stats for that somewhere. But
Please no.
Thank you.
no, it's just a small rustling somewhere in the bush, right? And you've got like one of the flowers dug up already, and you can see a little like face kind of pops up from some moss, and it looks like a rat, maybe the size of a small 10, 15-pound dog, right? Just
Small, large rat.
small, large rat. So large rat,
Was-
small dog.
Dire to describe this rat size.
So RUS, if you
Look
will.
at this. It's like a.
Yeah.
Look at this. It's like a what do you call it? A dire rat? It's huge. It's almost like a capybara or something.
I don't know. I've seen about the same in Brooklyn.
Fair.
No, that's weird. I'll kind of take the shovel and just put the shovel head in between us and this creature. And if I have to knock it away.
Let's see.
We've got a sample anyway. I've thrown it in a little bag here. Hopefully we can keep it alive. But I appreciate you stopping. Wendy, I guess we're good to roll out.
Yeah. Yeah. Wendy has like wandered a little bit back into the center of the road and was just like kicking some pebbles or something, like half lost in thought from. Like, right, yeah. Circle them up.
As you kind of shove the shovel towards this thing, roll dex.
Oh god. Okay.
Or I also take melee with a weapon,
Oh.
whichever one's
I was
better
gonna
for you.
What is rolling dex on our thing?
Well, that's 100. I was doing so well.
Okay. You can, as an option, burn 10 luck to negate a critical failure.
Now this seems fun. Let's go
I-
for it.
Okay. Cool.
This is what I'm sorry. I want to share this. I don't know if this is what it is, but I see the doctor standing behind Kelly, and he's like, and Kelly's like, "Stand back, Doc." Like that.
I wholly support this.
100%. Like shovel goes up. Like, oh yes, yeah, I've seen bigger in Brooklyn, and then
Fine.
you see a second, and a third, and a fourth, fifth,
No.
sixth, seventh, eighth, like just a dozen of these little heads poke up, and they all just with a chittering ferocity jump on you, Kelly. These all
Of course.
10, 15-pound like rats swarm you, right? Let me get I got a photo of these things.
I'll
'Cause-
never complain about the subways again.
Do I have a photo of these things? Oh no, did I not? Oh no.
Oh man.
Oh, shame on me.
Do you have it in the book and you can just like put that part up
I
near your
do.
camera?
I do. Here, there we go.
Big boy.
Oh, that looks
So
cuddly.
yeah, big old teeth covered in like weird yellowy pus things,
Cool.
right? Like little just pus bubbles. But yeah, they just jump on you and attack. So I'm just gonna roll.
Alright.
Do you want to dodge or fight back?
An excellent question. Let's find out. What's my dodge? We're gonna fight back.
Okay, very cool. To exceed their level of success. Luckily, they're not stupidly
Fair
strong.
That's it.
And life.
What was that?
Is that we're using the stoat as a weapon, or we're attempting to throw it off of ourselves?
Both. Why not both? I rolled a 5, which is an excellent success.
Nice.
So swing and a
You're
miss
just
on the
up and
first
down.
one. It's all 3 digits or 1 digit. Nothing in between.
Crit fail, crit success. This is gonna be a good session. Okay. 8. Huh. Okay.
Suspense.
This scene is an absolute mess. I think Oliver, as
Yeah.
you turn, you just see Kelly raise the shovel. All these rats just dive on Kelly, and then he goes down. under a swarm of just like tails and teeth and like yellow pus fungus just floating up all over the place. You just hear chittering and biting. The smashing starts soon after, right? You can hear Kelly yell a couple times as he gets bit on the arm, bit on the leg, and then you start rolling, and then just the shovel just comes down, and you hear like
clang,
this,
clang.
yeah, just like squeak, squeak, pop, like things running, like flying one way, flying another way. It's pretty messy. In about the span of a couple seconds.
Devil's dust cloud. Just
Yep.
occasionally you see like a hand or a shovel or a tail pop out, but it's just a cloud of dust and noise.
Yeah, it's
Inexplicably, like, you know, punctuation marks just flying everywhere.
Yeah.
Exclamation marks and
it's a mess. As quickly as it starts, though, it's not necessarily over, but reduced. About half these rats are just knocked off by Kelly, rolling around, hitting them with the shovel, kicking a bunch of them. But you can see there's still some bite marks on Kelly. So you took 2 points of damage, right, from the biting, which isn't that bad. But I need you to roll luck.
Okay, let me get the health first before I. Why is it selected my entire? You know what? I can't edit this right now, so give me a second. I'm gonna mark that.
No worries. And then Oliver, you can have a chance to jump in because there's still about 6 rats that are just like swarming around. It's after like little things are just splatted here and there, and a couple run off.
That's a failure.
It's a failure. Okay. Cool. Make a note, and we shall continue. Yeah, Oliver, you're up. So Kelly's on the ground. Like I said, some of these rats have been stomped. Some of these rats have squeaked and run away. And he's just thrashing wildly with this shovel in this whirlwind of nonsense. What would you like to do?
Me?
Oh, for Oliver.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Oh, all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I think, just grab Kelly by like the jacket and just drag him back to the truck.
Okay. Very cool.
Like, I'm not worried about a rat right now. Like, I understand that they're still sort of doing damage, but let's just get away from whatever this is and back to support.
Cool.
So I can roll strength for that if you want, but I feel like it's...
Yes, please. Just to determine how quickly you can drag, or like the possibility of things biting you as you go. Right.
Okay.
But yeah.
So that's an 11.
Oh, okay. You're fine.
So yeah, I'm just sort of one-handed, maybe, you know, keeping my hand on my pistol for the other rats.
Just like you got a couple flowers in the crook of your arm, pistol in one hand, dragging Kelly with the other, kicking a few rats. 2 more fly off to the side. You know, this nice little crunch, poof, as the little weird powder goes up in the air. And you drag Kelly back towards the car. The rest of the rats start to disperse, right? As you move away from the wood line towards the car. I think Wendy's jumping out, Cecil's jumping out, right? Getting ready to intervene. And as quickly as it starts, they all just scamper off into the wood line.
Wendy's gonna warn a couple of times too, to be like, get the, you know, we are the big scary thing. Get away.
Yeah, and that definitely like has an impact. A couple start to move forward boldly. They hear the horn and the growling of the big truck, and they're like, no. And you see 1 or 2 of them like just face, you know, just dead on the ground, having been like shoveled to death by Kelly, just laying there. But the rest of the swarm, either through damage or through fear, has run away.
Wendy's like looking at the like rat patties and is like, oh, it looks like hamburger.
Yeah, you do notice weird yellow, like I said, spores on the dead rats that are there. All right, it's kind of similar to like the weird yellow fungus or whatever that was growing on the large King Kong creature.
I'd have to say, this strange, unusual spore. Doctor, have you ever seen anything like it? It's on everything.
Clearly, it's the same thing that infected the other creature. You all would be wise to stay back and put on your protective gear, I think. Mr. Murphy and I appear to have been exposed.
And Cecil kind of like in a kind of protectively, like mom protection, like energy, puts his hand like kind of in front of like Wendy and starts backing away.
Now, for consistency's sake, I'm assuming that Oliver was already wearing his gear. Like Kelly as well, but you can tell me no if that's not the case.
I mean, I'll leave it up to you. It was a hot truck and it's a rubber suit.
Roll luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
I feel like it would be only natural to.
Yeah, go ahead and roll luck.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. That's
So-
a 25. All right.
I think you had it on, but you weren't
Alright.
wearing like the helmet piece, so you managed to like make that work. Kind of hold your breath as they sport up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kelly, you succeeded as well.
I got a 10.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you had it on. Interesting thing with you is when you look down at your arm, some of the bite marks tore into part of the cloth. So there's like a hole about 2, maybe 3 inches in length. So you have to tape it up or cover it somehow.
Probably try and patch that up, yeah.
Yeah, just from the biting. But it seemed like the present threat is dealt with. You managed to salvage the flowers, right? You have these cool looking, purple, blue, bioluminescent 5-petal flowers that concretely are not from this world in any way, shape, or form. If anybody else would like to also roll Cthulhu Mythos now that you have some in your hand, you're welcome to.
Sure. Nope. That's an 86.
Nope.
Hello?
Is our caduceus pal with us?
Yes,
Or
sorry.
is he in a different team?
That was something I wanted to actually follow up on too. So, Quentin
He's gone.
is just gone.
No.
That's why we were wearing our safety gear, because he would have nagged us about it.
He would have. Quentin pokes his head out from around the truck, says, I'm going to grab one of those rats because I think we can put them through the viral analyzer and see what potentially is we're dealing with here.
Oh,
I think it's pretty apparent, Quentin, that this is a fungal issue, not a viral one at this point, don't you think?
Well, viral analyzer is
Just shorthand.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it can assess all sorts of stuff.
well, most certainly, pieces of good work, Murphy. Pieces of these are definitely sandwich sized, so they will definitely go in there.
He like
Cecil,
grabs an exceptionally flat one. It's like just flat with his little legs and just picks it up.
One of the ones that saw the business end of the shovel.
Yeah,
Really.
just a little bag. I'll mess with this at camp. I don't want to fire it up in the truck.
Yeah. Wendy's gonna I'm assuming there's one of those outboard chest, I don't want that in there with us. You can put it in that one.
throw it in an ammo can.
Yeah, and throw an empty ammo can in the back. I'm picturing you should be like the, what do you call them, the Ford, the old school Ford A1 trucks, where basically it's just like a larger bed truck with like a little pickup back area with all your supplies and stuff strapped down in there. I think the the box of stars is in the cab itself for safekeeping, and I think everything else is just strapped down: food, water, the viral analyzer in the back.
Yeah.
So Quentin kind of just tosses the rat in the back. It's like, all right, well, did anybody succeed on that Cthulhu Mythos check?
There was one.
I'll give. Oh, sorry, for the flower. Since you now
Oh.
have it in your hand, now I can really study it.
No, I'm not getting anything off of it.
All right.
I'll have to look at it in a more calm scenario, perhaps with actually being able to like touch it and feel it and smell it.
I'll give Quentin a roll too. No. Alrighty.
Well, I suppose going forward, if we see any rustling, if we see any pretty flowers, for now we just avoid it.
Hmm.
And
So onward or back?
there's no going
Onward,
back.
I think. We got lucky there, though. You're right, Cecil. We shouldn't mess with things here.
How's everybody feeling?
Kelly, do you need patching up at all?
Wendy has picked up something in particular of note, but yes, Kelly, are you okay?
I'm fine. I got a few scratches I need to patch up this suit, but it should be okay.
Okay. Nobody feeling kind of foggy or anything?
Foggy? No.
Okay.
Well, out with it, girl. Explain your experience.
It's not as bad as, but it's a little bit like when we were in the jungle with the big guy. And just that, like, I don't know, wandering attention. Like I have to bring myself back to really focus each time somebody brings up a new part of the conversation, or there's a turn, or other than that, just, I don't know, feels like cotton over my whole brain.
Cecil says, I do not know if this is the time or place, but I feel like mesmerism is the answer. And he gets out, like, you know, like he's just like, everything's inside my pockets, which are inside the suit. And so he like picks up, he like borrows, like asks to borrow a flower, if he can, and if he's given one, he's just like, Wendy, I'd like you to just have we'll have a seat in the Jeep, and then just concentrate on the flower. And I'm going to try to see if I can help Wendy's attention, kind of like, or help her out of the fog, or at least help her be able to concentrate.
Cool. Wendy, are you good with this, or are you like, no, I fight back mentally? So.
I mean, she's a little bit perturbed that she's the only one feeling this way. We're sure everybody else is feeling just fine. Okay. If we're going onward, I guess it's not a bad plan. I'd like to be able to drive us back without worrying about ending up in a ditch, but I mean, I've been okay kind of getting us this far. Maybe hold off unless it gets worse.
Very well. And he like hands the flower back, and it's like, we'll keep an eye on you, but keep us updated.
Cool.
In the truck.
Yeah. I'm just gonna like pay, special like double check to all of the strapping in. Like everybody, make sure they're, locked in tight. Wee.
Where is the thing?
Like have a little extra lurch on that first acceleration forward, but onward into the jungle.
Cool. With that, I'm trying to decide if this is a good time for a break or if we want to move forward. I know it's early, but this is one of a series of things that are about to go down. So I think let's take 5 here. There's a lot of choices you have to make very quickly, and I'd like to just keep that action rolling once we start to it. So let's take 5 here, kind of get reset if you need to, and then we'll lock in and deal with some of this 24 style action sequences coming up, right? So we will be right back. Game on. Oh, that's the starting soon page. There we go. Just kidding. We're not starting soon. We're continuing the adventure. All right, we're back, and we are ready to continue the action. So after your weird rat debacle, have a few more minutes where you're able to, get in the truck, get sorted, and start again carefully driving your way across these roads. Right, come around one of the bends, and you can see further down the road splits. Right, and you have kind of a left and right fork. From the map you have, because I'll pull it back up for you, that going to the right takes you towards a local tobacco farm owned by a dude named Kazan. All right, this is something that Captain Rodriguez was able to tell you. Sorry, Captain Lancaster. Towards the left is the survey camp owned by the North Borneo Charter Company, right? And the main person there is Richard Clemens, and he was the lead geologist that asked Caduceus to intervene in this epidemic, right? So those are your choices kind of going forward is which direction you'd like to pursue. But I kind of imagine you pull up and like stop for a second at the fork in the road, and you can kind of like look at that and some makeshift signs that have been like thrown up on a little signpost confirm like, okay, farm, camp.
The proverbial fork in the road, as it were. My vote is perhaps going to the people who called us originally for help, but I know that we could probably get a little bit more information from the poor tortured folks who are at the tobacco farm and in the village. What do you all think?
I agree.
Farm
I
might
think
be able to tell us something about the actual plant life here. Maybe that flower.
And a doctor?
And that,
Well,
yeah, I agree. I think it would be good to go to the farm. Impolite not to answer the people who called us, after all, right?
Quentin holds up a letter and says, initial request came from survey camp from Richard Clemens, right? So there's about 40 people out there at the survey camp. Down at the tobacco farm, there's about 200 people down there. And they've got a makeshift medical area, but survey camp also has some medical supplies as well. The farm just had more room. So makes sense to me that we go to both locations, but I think going to talk to the survey team first that'd be my vote, but I'm not driving.
I'm inclined to agree with you. And as there have been geological events, as it were, happening here, he might be able to give us a couple more answers, and we'd be able to tend to your wounds.
that's true. Maybe get Kelly patched up before we do anything. It might be less than 150% safe. Okay. Survey camp?
Survey camp.
Seems like survey camp. Survey
And
says.
we'll just make sure. Yeah. We talk the farm.
I'm going to do the thing.
All right. Great. So Wendy will put things back in gear and head us over towards the left. Yeah. There we go.
I'm very happy about the new cringe emote. Okay, so yeah, you start heading down the road to the left towards the survey camp. As you're approaching, about 100, 150 meters back, you can see there is a commotion in the road. There's maybe dozen plus people that have pushed up towards what looks like a large front gate at the survey camp, right? And they're yelling and like waving their arms in protest. Some of them have like pitchforks, some of them have sticks, some of them are throwing rocks in the direction of this camp where the front gate is closed. You can see kind of above the front gate on like a makeshift platform. There seems to be somebody kind of doing a bit of an overwatch and yelling back, and he is holding a rifle, trying to sort through the commotion. That's kind of what you can see from a distance. What do you do?
Oh, good heavens.
I don't like that he has a rifle ready to go. These people are too trigger happy already.
Well, if they're trying to get in and they're trying to likely get medical attention of some sort, there's not very much of a way for us to get in without them opening those gates.
Wendy, floor it.
All right. And she's gonna lean on the horn with one hand and like kind of like steer back and forth a little bit as she starts to accelerate it. So like they have a little bit of time to like, but we're gonna rev the engine and head for that gate. Yeah.
Wolf. All right, let's do it.
Cecil hates this, but he grabs one of the he has a revolver, and he's like forgive me, and he like bam like up in the air after the honking of the horns.
Oof. Okay,
like straight up into the air, so like people know to get clear.
Yeah, let's roll some rolls. Quentin in the back like grabs the oh shit handle and is like, oh god. I would like Wendy to make a drive roll, right? You're gonna get a bonus die from Cecil firing the gun into the air, right? Kind of clearing the road as you floor it, and you're just like leaning on the horn, just like boom, boom, as the guard like looks up in the distance, like what the, and like people turn and they start to scatter, yell. Some people throw rocks and jump off the road into the ditches. But give me that drive check to see how that all goes.
Regular success.
Regular success. Okay, cool. So like nothing catastrophic, right? You're moving down this road. You get some pretty good speed. The road to the survey camp is way more improved than the rest of the back road area, right? So once you get past that fork, you can start to really pick up some momentum. And you're leaning on the horn, and you are going, and everyone scatters, right, out of the way. Now, they don't go too far. Some people run forward, they just disappear into the wood line, but some people just jump off the side of the road into ditches and are now glaring at you and yelling obscenities. And the guard at the top is just staring down. He's got like a rifle kind of unslung in his hands. He's like, who are you?
Cecil, like...
While we're in the speeding car? Like, what do you mean, who are you?
Here's my question. Do you stop at the gate or do you ram the gate? I made an assumption. Let me back up.
Wendy doesn't like these people already. She's at least tapping that gate. Yeah. We're gonna like, I'll slow before I get it, but we'll definitely make it bend a little bit inward.
Cool. Yeah, this is very much like as you look at the gate, it is the chain link with a little bit of barbed wire at the top, interspersed with like wooden beams to kind of like keep it set up around the perimeter. Right. Yeah. You can see the center is just like two wooden posts that have been like chained together to keep it closed. So as you head up on it, All right, you just want to
You
love
can
tap
let
it.
me in, or I can get rid of this. Like,
Cool.
Cecil,
knock knock.
Cecil, like elbows Quentin, and like, come on, man, and he says, "Caduceus Medical to the rescue."
I love it.
Oh man, I gotta make some rolls. Okay. But yes. All right, cool. So yeah, people flee off to the side of the road. The guard looks like he's about to shoot. You slow down. You love tap this gate, and he's just like, just dumbfounded. Yells out like, "What? Who the hell are you?" And you yell back, Caduceus Medical. He's,
Knock knock.
Open the gate. Hey, yeah, the team from Caduceus is here. Open the gate. Right.
You open it or I open it for you.
It's like kind of bulging in a little bit as like the front of the truck is just like pushing on it. Some dude runs around with like a big old thing of keys, like opens up the padlock, pulls the chain off, opens part of the gate. It's like, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. You can see other people who had scattered that were nearby start getting up and like moving closer to the actual compound, and very quickly, like the car goes in, they relock the gate, and people start pressing on it again. And you just like, get back, get back!
Forward, real nice and slow, and they're like, come on, come on, come on. I'm like, he's got a rifle on me. I'm gonna go nice and slow, just because that makes me nervous.
Get inside before they do. Look, it's bad. Okay, it's real bad. Get the truck inside now.
Wait, Wendy, lass, this is the time for expediency.
Fine. I'll rev it a little bit and pull to the side before I park. Like,
Okay. Yeah, there's a little bit of a scuffle at the gate, right? A couple people get close. A few other guards run out and end up like kind of pushing people back, get the gate closed and locked again. They all kind of breathe a sigh of relief as the survey
I'm afraid of touching them. I just don't want to help them.
The guard that locks the gate turns and looks back at you and says, "What?
You're not afraid of touching them. You don't want to help."
We only have so many medical supplies in camp. They have practically attempted to overrun our gates and take all of our stuff. We're down to it, and we've been waiting for... You know what? I'll let Mr. Clemens explain when he gets here. And sure enough, like, you start to see commotion come from further
He's
back.
totally the one.
I'm sorry, what? Oh, no.
Is he the one with the rifle on the platform?
No, he's just one of the guards. Mr. Richard Clemens, owner of the NBCC and professional geologist, starts making his way towards you. There's, like I said, a lot of commotion, guards kind of running to and fro. As you settle down, you're being kind of questioned for credentials at this point, right? You're inside. They can see the food and water in the back of the truck. They can see the Caduceus logos on some of the boxes. But now they're like, okay, seriously, what's up? You can still hear like a little bit of commotion at the front gate. As that's all getting settled. Right.
Wendy hasn't been happy with their answers, so she's pretending she doesn't speak English anymore. No.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, the guard's just getting more increasingly frustrated with this. Like, it looks across the passenger seat towards Cecil, and it's like,
What do you spit it out, lad?
I don't even know. Like you almost ran the gate, and you know what? It's
We did consider being very polite and taking our way, moseying up, politely asking, perhaps sending a letter or two, fine calligraphy, but it didn't seem like the right choice at the right time.
all right. Look,
My understanding is you need help, and those folks didn't seem like they wanted to help you.
no, you're right. We do need the help.
You're
Your
fine to give
methods
up
are
direct. Sorry.
your methods are a little. You know what? I'm not going to criticize. We need the help, and you're here now, so we got there. Um, hey boss. Yeah, this is the Caduceus team. You see, gentlemen, in everyone else is wearing work clothes, right? Or something that fits the environment pretty well. But they are dressed like, well, a bunch of idiotic British people who are in the jungle not wearing the right clothes. But they're wearing heavy cloth or wool pants, and then they've got like their suspenders and their sleeves rolled back. But they don't look at all like they're ready for long-term jungle living. The gentleman in charge definitely doesn't look that way at all because he's still wearing a rumpled and dirty but nevertheless full suit to include like a tie that's kind of like undone around his neck, and he's just got like hair, kind of sweaty hair that he like combs back a bit, and he's just like rushing towards you in a very deliberate I'm in charge kind of way. There's two other people following him, and he comes walking up and he says, okay, I'm Richard Clemens. I'm the head NBCC geologist, and this is my survey camp. So first I'd like to say thank you for getting here in quite some time. Second, I wish there had been a little more coordination between you and the guards. Everyone is very on edge right now. But that said, we have a couple places where you can unpack and get reset for the journey out. So, would you like me to show you to your tent?
Please. And we've had some encounter with the local flora and fauna, to be honest. Maybe both at the same time.
Just out of curiosity, is this the only truck you brought?
We're the team. These are the supplies.
And we're here to help. We do have injured.
Oh, Kelly's barely injured.
I was, how are you going to conduct the evacuation with one truck?
Nobody told us we were evacuating. What we're doing is neutralizing the pathogen.
Is there something we should know about, Doctor?
I've spent a considerable amount of time and money in form of donations to Caduceus, and so I figured when you were going to come here, you would simply evacuate our survey team to a safe area. There are 20 of us. We're all packed. Everything else should sort itself out, but we need to leave. It's as simple as that.
Oh, you weren't planning on saving these folk? The infected?
How?
Quentin?
At a certain point, I'm not a doctor. I know that I need to, get my people out.
Yes. And while I'm only a doctor of folklore, he says, kind of looking over a little sheepishly to Oliver, because I do know for a fact that we need to cure any potential pathogens that are here, and it seems like everybody might be affected to a degree, but that's why we're wearing suits. These comfortable suits.
comfortable rubber, sweaty suit.
Okay.
Quentin, maybe this is time for you to say something.
Quentin, like, again, pokes his head out from the back. It's like, look, this is very simple. We're going to actually run the viral analyzer, and we're going to administer as many doses of vaccine or cure that we can produce to everyone here. Now, all right, we're here.
Are y'all sick? Because those people are sick, but you've been in here with your, like, are you sick, or are we giving this to the actual sick people?
Richard looks at you and says, we took some aggressive action early on to try to keep as many people out as possible. I had a team of 40. We're down to 21. 21 that remain, I don't think that they're sick.
Great.
But
so you aren't the ones we're administering the cure to. Apparently we're evacuating with our one truck, which I drive.
Well, Quentin says, look, it makes sense if we can make some type of cure. We start here, we give it to the people at the camp, right, who may or may not be infected. We can figure that out as we go. Remember, the timeline on this thing is pretty aggressive, so if someone does get infected, we're looking at 24 or 48 hours before it gets real bad anyway. So
remember, Wendy, we need
people who are clearly infected first. If they're
remember, Wendy, we need to make sure it's safe.
Already sick.
We need to make sure it's safe, Wendy. Wouldn't you rather test it on the nice British imperialists?
No. She's gonna put the her rifle back over her shoulder and hop down from the truck and like storm off towards the tent that he indicated when he said it was ours.
Yeah. Says 100%. Clemens looks at the rest of you, including Quinn, and is like, all right, well, I'm going to write a very strongly.
Unload the truck.
If I help you make rat sandwiches.
I'm going to write a very strongly worded letter to Joshua Madam about this.
Well, we could pack up and go if you'd rather. We didn't help, but
hey, throw an intimidate check on that one, if you'd like.
Sure. That's an 11.
He takes a step back when you say that, and because you've basically called his bluff, and he's just like, all right, look, maybe we got off on the wrong foot. You've got supplies. We can push the evacuation back a day or two. It's not like this island's going anywhere, right?
Well.
You still tilt his head.
So, go ahead.
Geologist, was it?
Yes.
Yes. Have you noticed any tremors?
He gives you another look and says, why don't we get you settled in? And we'll do a screen wipe, right? So, about 20 minutes later, right, the truck's been unpacked. And you've been set up in the tent. Quentin makes sure to take the viral analyzer and the box of stars, or at least that someone in the party takes it, not some random helper, right?
What's this?
What's this do? Uh-oh. So,
to be fair, we in the party have been shown that we can't be trusted with this equipment.
True. That's true. You have blown up more living rooms than the random guards. But
It has been 32 days since the last incident.
Since the last Eldritch incident. You get settled in. You've got like cots and medical areas. Do me a favor and make a another, I guess it would be spot hidden. Seems to be at the right seal here. As you all are walking around the camp, getting stuff set up.
Not a damn thing.
Spot hidden, was
Yes, please.
That's a big old fail.
it? Oh.
Not only do I not spot anything hidden, I lose some shit.
So,
Regular success from Wendy.
oh wow, Wendy's just. Did your back hurt from carrying the team? So, did you succeed, Cecil, or no?
No,
Okay.
I for the most supernaturally perceptive of us, the world doesn't matter to me.
Yes.
What is this? It doesn't matter. The spirits are near.
Yeah. The physical world means nothing to my
The
senses.
physical world is.
Both.
So no.
As you were downloading this truck and everyone's getting settled in, you heard, Richard say, "Hey, I had 40 people and I'll have 21." You noticing, as you look around, plenty of space. Definitely missing personnel. Along the back fence of this survey area, there seems to be a lot of recently disturbed earth. Be enough to probably call it shallow graves, right? So that kind of catches your eye.
Okay.
But
I mean, she'll, I guess, nudge Quentin and be like, if we need the viral analyzer to, looks like that's where they've been disposing of their people.
he looks a little green. He's like,
You're the one that wants to feed us sandwich sizes of things. I mean, if you want to feed rats, fine, but especially if we're going to be curing them first.
No.
Curing
I
not sick people.
I understand the necessity. Still not great, but it will help people in the long run, and that is important. So, okay, we'll
Any list of not great things here. I'm sure they'll find a way to not be grateful about getting cured of something they're not sick with later.
All right, let's finish getting settled, and we'll address that in with the rest of the group. As you get,
You're gonna give it to her, though, right? Like no matter what, that decision's already been made.
give it to them first. I think the decision's honestly going to be made for us here. I think that we can't operate safely in this camp with Mr. Clemens thinking that he's going to be last on the list. He may be a bunch of bluster, but at the same time, he does have 20 workers who, some of them are armed and clearly want to do harm. So this seems like the best way to make the situation more tenable. Not my preferred method, but there's a limited number of positive
There's
outcomes
26
we can have here.
survey camp right now. Can you at least make him number 25?
That I got no problem with. So, but you get settled in.
Like 17-year-old, not happy about it, but she's like, at the very least, we're gonna be petty when we stick it to him.
I like it. As you get settled in, Richard sits down and he says, "It's interesting that you mentioned seismic activity, right? Everyone's got some tea, a couple little bit of water. We've been doing some," and he points towards the north, right? Some blasting at Mount Kinnabula, right? It's a big mountain you saw when you flew in. Large copper deposit down there. Ton of good money coming out. And had an incident maybe about a week or so ago. Probably closer to 10 days at this point. Big old landslide. Right. Lost a few, locals who were digging there. Caused a bit of an uproar. People were a little mad about it, but that was the start of some unplanned seismic activity for sure. Right. Every now and then the island would like shudder a bit. And
did it occur to you that the contagion appeared about 10 days ago, right after your landslide?
Sure, but last I checked, rocks can't make people sick, so I don't know.
Nick would like to have a word.
Sorry, that's me laughing at my own dumb statement because this guy's. Look, I took a point to look at their stats and their personalities and craft these wonderful things for you all to interact with. This dude is a bit of a dick too. They all suck.
Quote though. Rocks
we
can't make you sick.
Rocks can't make you sick.
Aging uranium.
So
Mercury is perfectly safe for the children to play with.
no, he says, I see the timeline, but 100% bad science. I see the...
Also, the phrase was like, "Oh, there was a landslide. People were upset, and then unplanned seismic activity." Like, you are such a bastard.
Yeah.
Opposed to planned seismic activity. Did it happen on your schedule?
Like we wanted the island to collapse on our time when it's most profitable. I don't understand why it's happening.
Yeah, all that copper that we're totally taking from the people that actually live here. Like,
These channel modes are getting some work, and I love it. But yeah, so he's sitting there, and he says, "I see the timeline, but I don't know how the two would be related, right? I know that the locals were pretty mad, some of them, right? There's something about the mountain being important to them, or I don't know. But I mean, if that's the case, then why would other locals volunteer to dig it out, right? Who knows? Some petty back and forth. But the farmer down the road, cousin, it's been pissing me off. So because of all that stuff, like, last week and a half, he's been up in arms about everything. He says the infection's our fault. He just doesn't understand what we're doing here. And then, like, they're sitting on all these resources and doing nothing with them. So, I think honestly,
but it sounds better than you do.
He what?
If you didn't notice the correlation between when you started digging and the contagion, sounds like he's better at counting.
I've never seen a
Wendy,
landslide start a pandemic before. That doesn't make any sense to me. So it's clearly not our fault.
Yeah, and your estimate, like your experience. Yeah, sure.
Wendy, we do need a base of operations if we're going to actually get the contagion under control. Unless you'd rather operate from the bush with the gorilla?
Or down at the farm.
We'll get there.
You can go down to the farm if you like. There's, 100 plus sick people down there. Everyone's kind of fighting each other for food. It's a mess.
You want me to share all of you guys, so I have 21 sick people here.
Wendy's about to fight.
Gate's over there.
Wendy's this mother. We don't like this system. Also, I'd be happy to sojourn on over to the farm. She'll stand up and jingle the keys and head back to the tent.
Well, what other seismic activity? Cecil tries to like
Smooth
elegantly
everything.
gloss like what other seismic activity has been happening, and have you noticed anything different about the flora and the fauna recently? And have any of you gotten sick? He says from the protection within the protection of his giant suit. So
He, yeah, Richard's, he kind of like glares at Wendy for an additional extra second, and then turns to Cecil and just says, "Yeah, I've been tracking the seismic activity. It keeps increasing in frequency. It was about once a day. Now it's about once every 12 hours or so. Uh, we surveyed this area. There's nothing in terms of active volcanoes in this part of the island or anything like that. So I haven't quite figured out what the cause is, and then got a little distracted by the small riot at the front gate. Um, like I said, we had about 40 people. Some of them got sick early on, and took a. They weren't going to make it, so we took some aggressive quarantine actions. Um,
and what would those be, sir?
well, you haven't seen the bad part of this yet, but there's a point where when people get sick, they'll start vomiting up something that looks like blood, but I think it's actually like their internal. It was bad, right? They were so sick that there was no recovery, and that seemed like the most humane option to put them out of their misery. And that was our own people. So, but
No question, we need to get this under control soonest. We should check in with Quentin on whether or not he's been able to run that animal sample through the viral analyzer yet.
you can see in like the next tent over, I think he puts the viral analyzer in a different tent. You can just hear like a low. He's like just shoving this like rat sample into the side of it. Sorry, you guys call me? It's like he's got like just gloves on with like all sorts of like red and yellow splatters on it.
Keep it up, Quentin. We need that thing soonest.
Just running the samples through right now. Hopefully it'll go through. Should be a good start. Wendy did bring up a good point though. Might need more. And,
All right, I guess I'm doing some grave robbing later.
Oh, well, I mean, you are full. You know, I would not volunteer myself. But there's so many things to talk about.
Richard, which of your compatriots was the last to expire?
Perhaps the first?
No, the last, thank you. It's 100 degrees, Cecil. I'm not digging up a 5-day-old grave.
Oh, well, a good point, but I believe Quentin did mention that the older the specimen or the more advanced. I'll leave the decisions to you. There's so much to discuss.
Richard is like thinking about this, and he says, "So you need what, samples?
Yes.
Is that all right? One of our. No, it's not necessarily the. Yeah, it's a bad circumstance all around. Yeah, we had a gentleman we lost yesterday. Buried out back in the far left, kind of going in order from how we lost people going out, right? So far left is the most recent. If you're gonna take samples, just don't let the others see. It's gonna probably probably gonna be problematic, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
Like, I get
I'd
it, I
rather
get
do
it,
it when
but
it's. I'd rather when it's cool anyway. I'll go later this evening.
yeah, yeah. It's about midday
Believe me, I
now.
don't relish this.
Um, it's about midday now. You had some time to get, settled in and unpacked. He also says, and he said something about weird flora and fauna too. Some of the locals came up with like, just weird vegetables or something. Initially, when this happened, everyone was trying to like pull resources, but they looked like they weren't right. They just had a weird sheen about them. Kind of
Where'd you grow up, Richard?
me, London.
London? You ever go out to the countryside?
Uh, yes, but mostly to you know the
My
parks,
point is, have
Wales.
you ever, maybe even in Hyde Park or something, have you ever just like stepped on a mushroom and had it poof out a big cloud of stuff?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what we're dealing with, we think. The contagion is fungal in nature, as best we can tell from what we've seen from the animals and other things that have been exposed.
Hmm. That explains the get-ups. All right, you got any more of those, by the way? Suits.
You can ask Quentin.
So he pokes his head back out. We only brought the 5. Sorry. So. It's got like a piece of firewood he found, like just pushing the rat further in.
Again, Richard, you might be better off without it. It's Borneo, it's 100 degrees, and I haven't had a shit in about 24 hours. So I personally can't wait to get out of this thing.
All right.
Um,
Now look. Do what you got to do. All right. If you need to get out of the camp, there is a back exit. It's a little steep. You can work your way down though and work around. All right. It's a good way to get past any of the issues you got there. If you need any other samples, right, beyond what we can get in here, just make sure you tell the guard so they don't think that you're somebody trying to intrude. It's kind of hard to mistake you in your suits, but you never know.
Hmm.
Right.
May I ask? You said the farmer. He had a name, and he did something you didn't particularly like.
Yeah, Kazan. He's a local tobacco farmer. He got everyone all riled up after we started, doing our work on the mountain. Something about like the mountain being sacred, or just I don't know. I think part of it is local superstition. Part of it is jealousy and getting people riled up because maybe they believe it. Maybe they just want to hurt our business. But yeah, they were saying something about how we'd angered the mountain spirit, and that's why everyone was getting sick. And I just say it's bad timing. But what are you gonna do? I mean, we've been here a couple months, and we're set to make more money than he's probably seen in his entire life. So jealousy's a hell of a drug, right?
If you say so.
Envy can do that to you.
But yeah, name's Kazan.
Hubris,
So
hubris too.
sure, if you convince the locals, well, there's no sense in talking to them. They're just mad. So probably safer
I
staying
don't
here.
speak Javanese or Balinese anyway, so
Oh.
we'll have to make do.
A lot of them speak pretty good English at this point. So just from
Oh, right, yes, the Rajas.
Mhm. But I'll I'm going to help out as much as I can trying to get this taken care of. So, and there's a commotion outside, right? And you hear a terrible retching noise and just liquid splashing all over like the dust and rocks of the space of the camp. And someone else just kind of retching as they hear that. And Richard goes, I might need your assistance sooner, if you don't mind.
Let's
Well-
get out and see what this is about.
Good news is I won't have to rob a grave after all.
Outside, the guard. There were a couple of guards that you saw that were a little more active. A couple of them were a little more sluggish. One of the more sluggish guards had moved back towards his post near the front gate. The protest seems to have died down a little bit. There are still some people standing around, but nowhere near the volume as before. I think they might be a little concerned about another vehicle plowing through the area, right? So they're kind of being cautious about that. One of the guards just has vomited a bunch of reddish black liquid all over the ground and just hit the ground and is not moving. The other guard that was standing on top of that little platform has seen this and is like just like starts throwing up.
Like regular vomit?
Yeah,
Or
like
not regular.
like just
Okay.
sees a terrible thing and just like as this occurs.
Not Caduceus material.
Meanwhile, Murphy's trying not to gag. And everyone barfing.
Cecil has like covered his eyes. Perhaps we should get this sick man to our caduceus expert indeed. And Cecil tries to be brave to go over and be like, lad, when you've finished coloring the floor with your lunch, you mind giving me a hand?
Oh yeah.
The guy that went down, was that like one of the people at the gate, or do we know where he was from?
It's one of the people.
Or was it just
Okay.
So down to 20 survey camp personnel. Yeah, the guard like slings his rifle, kind of like wraps his hands in like just the longer like some cloth and just like helps you carry this very light person. Actually, they feel kind of like hollow and they slosh a bit as you walk with them. Or the body.
Cecil staggers for a second. It's like, just go somewhere else for a moment, and just kind of like his eyes kind of glaze over as he just kind of checks out for a second.
That's right.
Aw.
And he kind of says, he's like, Quentin, there's this poor man needs looking to.
Quentin is again all full gear now. Like looks at him. You can see like the viral analyzers like spinning and whirling, and like there's basically like liquids coming down. There's little soda spouts you're talking about, like filling up different glasses. And he like
1930s medicine was
everything
awful.
about this? I hate this.
oh, this scenario is such a mess.
Time you describe it, it gets worse.
The crazy part is we're not even at the worst part of the scenario.
Oh.
It gets worse before it gets better. But like, well, maybe it could get better first. But like, he looks at the guy you bring in, and he like does a quick couple quick medical checks, and he's like, okay, yeah, he's not in good condition at all.
And you'll likely have to stay here. And thank you, good soldier. You're not. Your help is much appreciated. You don't need to be in here when this.
Yep. He just rolls out. The second you say that, he's like, okay, good luck, Chris. Like, leaves. And
I'm sorry to interrupt.
oh, and then Chris now is like just breathing shallowly and kind of dealing with that issue, right? So I want to take a second and kind of zoom out, right? There's a lot of stuff going on that's going to take some time, right? Quentin is working on synthesizing a cure, but doesn't have a ton of material, right? There's a couple options you have. Look ahead at you. You obviously can go down the dark route of some grave robbing. There's what's happening with this gentleman, Chris, in the meantime, who is still alive and may benefit from a very quickly synthesized cure, maybe beyond saving. It's hard to tell with this. There's also an attempt to sneak over to Kazin's farm and talk to him. There's also the option to head north towards the demolition site as well. There's like a small, much less refined road that leads out of the back of the survey camp in the direction that Richard was pointing towards demolitions and the landslide. Right? So as a group, you have a couple things ahead of you. As Quentin just says, I'm good to stay here and keep running this viral analyzer as long as we need to. All right? I can take care of Chris. He starts unpacking some medical supplies. I think I can help him out. Buying some time at least. Right? But point is, I got this on lockdown. All right? If you need to grab supplies, get out there, kind of figure out what's going on, because we still don't know what's up with the seismic activity. We still don't know what's up with the weird plants, right? And we still don't know where this thing is coming from. The more information we have, the better, right? But I can handle this.
All right. By chance, do you have any? Does it give you pills, or have you produced anything for the 5 of us that we can just have before we get out? And I'm not saying it for the safety of my body. It's very uncomfortable in this suit. But wouldn't it be nice to be immune to a crazy alien fungal infection?
He picks up a little Urmar flask and swirls it around and goes, all right, my professional recommendation is that this needs more time to be synthesized, especially given the source, as you see the tail and a couple rat pieces off to the side. And he's like, now that said,
makes sense.
You can drink it. I, as a medical professional, would say you really shouldn't. But I understand the circumstances that we're in.
Fair enough. Then, in any event, perhaps we look at poor Murphy's arm before we go anywhere. But you're right. We should be. I'll get the others, and we should make a decision. And he kind of goes off to gather everybody in the tent.
All right. Yeah. As you're talking, Quentin's able to give you some medical supplies, tape up your arm, right? You gain back 3 hit points, so you should be a little better than you were earlier. And now that there's a uncomfortable but tape seal on your suit.
Thanks, Doc.
That's it. Mm-hmm.
So, I know we keep on running into folks that we don't like. There may be more of that. But we should make a choice as to. Oh, yes.
Sorry. If I can make an admin note. One of the things to keep in mind in this scenario is the time piece, right? There's a lot going on in a very short amount of time. You do not have to do everything, right? You have a ton of different options. They all lead somewhere. It's just a matter of how you play through this, right? So don't get wrapped into trying to solve every single problem. You just can't do it. But there are a lot of problems, and what you do and don't solve could, be entertaining for you later. But just a thing to keep in mind.
We want to unlock all the achievements so we get the most points at the end.
Yes.
And
You just play the Song of Time over and over so you can do a perfect day and everyone is happy. Yeah.
I'm curious about the source and the landslide that might give us a key to something or another. There's also the mountain itself. But I guess there's something to be said about the farmer and his talk to the spirits of the mountain that might be an insight.
I think farm then mountain sounds like a good approach.
Murphy?
Kelly, Wendy?
I agree.
She had walked away, but she would agree with this. Yeah. 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 Like I kind of figure that Wendy's like anger has subsided enough that she's like praying at the fresh graves for the like poor people who had to be led by that asshole. Yeah.
Hey, as you're kind of taking 5 and sorting your thoughts, looking at these fresh graves, you notice something.
A hand punches up.
Zombies! So, you notice something. And that is the ground here is not level, right? So there's all this fresh dirt piled on, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down the line of like, 19 people, right? And there are dips along this line, right? So it dips a couple feet and then goes back to packed or recently thrown dirt, and then dips again. Throw an intelligence check or knowledge or nature.
It will be intelligence.
Cool.
Natural world is not going to help me here.
Yeah, I make it on natural world.
Okay, cool.
Regular success. Barely, but regular success.
Okay. Wendy, as you're looking at this, and as the rest of the group kind of is working their way towards you to see this, you, Wendy, notice that something shifts under the actual burial site. Right? The dirt just kind of like almost moves up like there's something underneath of it. Nothing protrudes out from the earth, but something definitely moves. And then the dirt settles again. And it's quick and sudden. It's so fast, in fact, you think, did that actually just happen? Right? Oliver, you, as you're looking at this line of graves, doing the math, you go, yes, if you subtract the size of a corpse, that would explain why the dirt is lower in some areas. As if, like, the body is missing. And there's a couple of those along the way. But no indication that it was pulled out from above ground.
We got graboids.
What was that?
Sorry, what I mean to say is some of the bodies are missing.
Cecil counts the mounds.
There are 12 bodies missing.
How many?
12.
12?
Mm-hmm. As you look down and you follow like the
most or
pardon?
So that's most. If it's 19.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Looking down and seeing like just the indentations of the earth and like kind of really puzzling that out. Yeah, it looks like there's about a dozen bodies that are just not there.
Did anybody else see something moving in the ground?
You saw something move?
Not something, just the ground moving. Like there's something in the ground. Like, so, like, are they?
Like moles?
Were the rats? We think maybe. Like maybe that's how the rats are getting sick.
Cecil goes over to like where most likely they started digging the first grave.
Mhm.
He's just gonna like kind of like look around and just be like, maybe over here. I don't know if you need a roll for that, but and starts like gets a stick and starts kind of like moving the stick about in the dirt.
Cool.
First scientific method. Poke it with a stick.
Well, the scientific method is like the flowchart of just fuck around, find out.
Write it down.
Repeat. Write it down. Document.
Yeah, rip it,
So,
baby.
that's the kicker.
Slop that down, dude.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. Crack one for the big boy.
Alrighty.
He's trying to see if there's like if the dirt is like loose and simply like it'll cave in and maybe the body's just burrowed somewhere, or maybe the rats took them away.
I don't think there's a role for this. So, yeah,
I was gonna say, it's like the pages flipping right now is making me nervous.
you grab. Hold on, I need another book. So, you grab a 2x4, one that's like been pulled off the fence as part of the repair, right? And you just start kind of poking around this dirt mound, and very quickly you realize that this whole area that you're, especially the older corpse area, is just hollow underneath. And as you're poking, the dirt kind of collapses and falls down about 2 feet, and you can see the start of what looks like a large tunnel. Right? You have about this much area. Sorry, about like a foot and a half to look down, and you can see that something has burrowed down there. This tunnel is so large that you could probably walk down it crouched. It's about 3 feet wide, maybe 4 feet tall, right? And it's just tunneled in to underneath these graves and has taken these bodies somewhere.
Oh, this is
So,
quite upsetting. I don't know if we really want to involve the local geologist, but this is beyond my ken.
This isn't rock. It's fine. Like, so the 12 that are gone, like, is it evenly spaced? Like the ones that are remaining, I guess the 7, like, is it like 2 and then 1 that's left, or like is there a pattern to it, or is it just
as near as you could tell, the best pattern is like from oldest to newest, right? So as they just kind of go down the line, there's like a couple of them are skipped occasionally, but for the most part, it's just going down in chronological order. And it's possible the ones that were skipped.
Yeah, but I mean, like the ones that are gone versus the ones that remain. Is there any?
Doesn't seem to be any pattern. It's maybe it was just not grabbed. Like it was just missed.
Which is the last one that moved, Wendy?
She'll like indicate where she saw the like.
Oh no! You point near the end, where some of the fresher bodies are buried and still there. You saw that movement in that direction. The earth kind of like bubble up a bit, and then go back under. So
Murphy, I might need your assistance. And Cecil's like, this tunnel has to be connected to this thing, and we might be able to catch it.
I don't really want to go in there.
Yeah, that's an entirely valid reaction. Sorry.
But I guess I will.
I don't want to either. I just need backup.
All right.
We're not going to go far. I just want to see if there's anything down there. Tries
like
to
a
get
light or anything to see.
Oh yes.
You got a bunch of supplies in the truck too. You can grab flashlights.
So we got like
Yeah.
big old honkin' mag light things, didn't we?
Mhm.
Yeah, we got some torches, so
Now, I'm assuming that like most standard supply equipment like is packed in the truck. You can grab it, throw it in a backpack. Got like a compass, some climbing gear. Like you pack for the environment, right? You guys aren't. Um,
Yeah, Wendy's gonna go grab some at least rope so that we could do like if we do send somebody down, we can, you know, great escape this.
oh, nice.
Yeah,
Good
and
reference.
a torch.
brave escape.
Oh, oh, there it is. So
I don't know if we have a.
I feel like that means I need to give like an extra like this was a terrible joke donation today because we've had at least a couple of those that have made me
Yeah.
cringe.
Yeah.
So
Come for the apocalypse, stay for the puns.
yes. So
yeah, like so you guys are welcome to poke at it, but like if like I'm not going in next to where the earth was moving, but like if it's large enough to crouch down and move through, like Wendy's the smallest of us, so like she'll tie the rope on and go walking. It's because it's towards this was the back of the camp, so it's also towards that demolition site. Yeah,
so to give you a visual, right, so there's the row of graves, about like I said, about half of those have been hollowed out. Along the back is this like little tunnel, basically it's like a trench that's been dug along these graves. It's still covered by the earth though, so as you kind of poked around and pushed that dirt down, you see it collapse. Now like you realize, oh, about 2 feet under this earth there's like all this tunneling that's been dug to pull these corpses somewhere right there because they're gone. So
you can stand up in there.
It's about 4 feet tall, right? Once you get under the like, you basically like go down into the grave.
I mean, for Wendy, that's like a this. Like, yeah, that's not a big.
Yeah, what I'm trying to do is also just ignore like you have to dig a bunch of stuff, right? Like you sit there, and it's down about 3 feet, so you can kind of see under it, and then the hard packed earth stays in place, whereas like the soft dug earth, like it's easy to fall, and you slide your way into this tunnel that parallels these freshly dug graves in one direction, stops near the end of like the most recent grave, and then heads off in the opposite direction, towards the mountain and the demolition site. Is the general bearing you get before it just disappears down to darkness, because you have a nice light, but dark tunnel, right?
Yeah.
So from where you're like, I assume you're kind of like half in, half out, like looking around, got a rope tied around you, going, all right, what in the hell is this exactly? And that's kind of the best thing you can get.
Rat. Like this is not rat. No, this is not rat.
No, definitely too big, or it's a giant rat.
Or it's the rats. Like
The rats.
The rat. I mean, and this is the same direction as the mountain demolition site, right? So that's like we're headed that way.
Wendy, do you see claw marks like you might see from a mole, perhaps, or like finger marks?
Do I see claw marks?
As you start looking around in the dark, you see big old claw marks. This tunnel was dug out by hand by something that is incredibly strong and has just ludicrous, like, you see like the 4 claw streaks on either side that is just burned through. These claws are probably like a good half inch in thickness as they like rake down the tunnel side.
Yeah, but like you know those big spoons you use for like punch?
Yes. Ladle.
Like that claw mark. Yeah.
Murphy, perhaps we should pull Lass out of there.
At the end of your beam of light, Wendy, as you're looking down the tunnel, you see movement of a humanoid looking figure kind of clambering down the tunnel. And it seems to stop. You just catch this silhouette, and it's like weird yellow eyes reflecting the light. And it just simply turns and walks the opposite direction, like in that weird hunched kind of bipedal walk due to the height. Do me a favor, make a sanity check.
Yep.
You're like, I might be coming out. Oh no, what is it?
That's not good. Yeah, total, like, definite pass. What is that? That's a great success. If it, yeah.
Ready.
Yeah.
Is there? Okay, no sanity damage. Nevertheless, like,
Yeah.
you see this thing kind of enter your beam of light near the end of the tunnel, this like weird shadowy yellow-eyed figure, and just go, okay, like hearts up in your throat, like this is terrifying now or intriguing. You have a lead.
Pull me up.
Get that adrenaline.
Yeah.
Now we want to be gentle. We want to be gentle bringing her up. Don't do it very fast. Just
No, fast is fine. Fast is fine.
Pull her back out, this tunnel. A little bit of dirt and debris on your hair, smudges on your cheeks.
Yeah. So maybe the 12 weren't so much stolen as walked away.
Oh dear.
There's definitely a person-y thing in there, but it's not okay.
Is it coming toward us?
No, it went the other way. Like it got into the flashlight, and like I think it saw me, or at least it saw there was a flashlight, and it went the other way. So if it was like, but like not like oh crap, I've been caught either. Like oh, this is annoying, and yellow eye.
What? I wonder if that was. I wonder if that was an effect of the infection, because we also saw the four-armed ape, right? And so are these things manifesting themselves through the fungus, or is it more magical in nature?
Oh, there is tales, at least in Ireland, of the Slua. They are very adjacent, but they
Yeah.
are the dead, and they walk like they used to, but they do live underground. Some fly at night. I mean, it sounds very similar to the Slua. I know it's the wrong country, but
But they know
he
that.
has to think, like, is there anything in folklore that like this kind of sounds like?
Yeah. I mean, like I can roll for Wendy, but there's definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, roll some occult.
Occult.
Yeah.
Barely. Not rolling great today, but no. So far I've now myself, so it's bad. But
Heard of something like this before.
Wendy was successful. Cecil? No. Oliver? Yes. Murphy? No. Okay. So as you're standing there thinking, like, so you're at the back, you can see the back fence of this survey camp. All these freshly dug graves. In the distance, you can see Mount Kinnabula, right? See kind of the slopey drop off where you can work your way out of. Sorry. You can see like the jungle in the background and those glints of that weird multichromatic flora and fauna, right? And And as you're sitting there thinking to yourself, like, what the heck could this be? The things that start to come to mind are similar to what Cecil's talking about, right? Like just weird, maybe undead things, or like there's a lot of different folklore that gets you in the direction of zombies or ghouls, effectively, right? Things that are either still alive and feral or not alive, but either way hunger for human flesh. And there's plenty of stories about those things in a lot of different folklore, but that's kind of the repeating theme, is that these things are there and they crave preferably recently dead or maybe even alive human flesh. So how that would come about here, then you can start getting into maybe this mountain is cursed, right? Maybe
Oh, it is. Yeah.
maybe the weird infection has something to do with transforming things. Maybe those weird powers that Cecil felt from that almost otherworldly influence are having an effect on a strange, otherwise normal area, right? But zombie ghoul definitely fits. Spooky outside magical influence triggering definitely fits.
Mm. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think the takeaway here is to burn bodies instead of burying them.
Yeah. Well, but if they're not eating them, are they going to try and eat us? Not, not, not to propose that we leave them food, but just. I said nothing. It's fine. Yeah.
Unless they're walking out of their own volition, in which case we're increasing their numbers.
Yeah. That. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
When in doubt, go into the enemy's camp, burn their supplies, and steal their horses. Let's not feed the bears.
I'll just we should probably make a choice as to. Well, I don't think going down there would probably be the best of ideas. Going to the camp, seeing what they're upset about. I mean, at least we can't talk to a mountain. We can talk to people about the mountain.
Yes, let's go to the farm.
I'm going to report this to Quentin for Russia's law.
He is handling dead things. That would be good too.
Quinn's like,
Well, he's not dead yet, right? The guy
He's
that.
handling dead things.
Oh yeah.
now Quentin's like, all right, he's got a whole set of different looking glassware out. He's got a bunch of different books out on this table that he's kind of looking at and watching this, again, analyzer run. He says, that trunk over there, it's got a lot of dynamite in it. That seems like a thing to set up over there just in case. I can't leave this, but I mean it's all bundled and ready to go. You can set that thing and we can just connect it to a plunger and run it in here if we need to.
We can do that.
So yeah.
How to break this to anybody in the camp, because they're going to be very angry. I can do
we can't do anything with the information. I think we leave. I think we leave it be.
Honestly, the best, discretion may be the best option here. I mean, you gotta tell Clemens that there's ghouls taking his men. underground. He's not going to believe you, or he's going to react in a very poor manner. One of the two.
The only thing I might suggest is we tell Clemens to burn the bodies as opposed to burying them if any more people succumb.
I can have that conversation with him. I'll get someone to bring him by, talk about the, minimizing the infection, something that at least get him on that track. He doesn't seem like he's.
Good man.
Yeah, he'd probably be happy with that, especially if I make it a, survival kind of thing for him. He seems to be very invested in his own hide.
We could also make it seem like his idea in order to dynamite that area right now. I think I could make that happen. So,
all right.
He goes to Clemens, and
So do you have a cure yet?
We are getting ever so close, lad. However, we've noticed something very, very important, and we might need to take action immediately. The infection continues to spread, despite your best efforts of burying the poorly recently deceased. It actually might be best if going forward, we burn the bodies, and that will actually reduce the infection in the area, as it were. Can't think of anything. I mean, we have the dynamite in the car, but I'm not quite sure if you have any tools or blocks of wood. I know supplies are in short supply. Do you want me to roll a charm for this?
Yeah, roll charm, please.
Yeah. I mean, we did also have the good suggestion from our chat that some of this might go into the juicer. So
That's a good
find a way to work that in. That would be
yes.
That would be good.
Oh, he's like, you could also take some of. I mean, we do require raw materials and samples. Of course, God bless them and lead them to their heavenly reward. The most recently dead could help with that effort. And the more material we have, the quicker that cure is going to make it into your mouth. I rolled a charm. A great success, but not critical. So
okay.
Let their sacrifice not be in vain or stuff.
Yeah, it's just like
he kind of strokes his chin, thinks about it for a second, goes, makes sense. I mean, ultimately, cutting down any type of infection rate is the best. Sorry, wrong accent. Ultimately, cutting down any infection rate is the best option. So, yeah, okay, I'm good with that. And in terms of having to grab somebody out, yeah, sure. We can set up a donation or a foundation in their name and make it very nice, so that their sacrifices are absolutely remembered for their bravery and what they did down here.
I of course, and of course, your leadership here matters completely. Why not?
He smiles at you.
I'm just trying to think. Of course, I am a simple folklorist. He says, and he's just like, is there any way you could just the quicker we burn these bodies, the best. The only thing I can think of is we do have dynamite in the back, but we have only ever so much of that. That would probably speed up the process, unless you have an accelerant or something like that.
We got a shed full of dynamite.
Oh, do you think that would work? I'm a folklorist.
Yeah, oh wow, okay. He thinks for a second. He says, look, we prepped to be down here for a couple months and to blast out a good amount of that mountain, but it's not going to do us any good if we all die, right? So I can give you just a crate of dynamite. That should more than solve the problem. Do you know what
That
you're doing with
that
that
would be
stuff?
great. Oh, well, I'm a folklorist. I don't know how to touch it, but if you know how to set it up, we could put that right above the grave, and that would probably, as long as it was controlled and did not, like, harm the rest of the camp. If you could help us set that up, I mean, you're the leader of the camp. Maybe you should be the one to use the plunger.
All right, and you're sure this is the best method going forward, right?
We have convened with the doctor, and he said it's probably the best in order to save the rest of you from any infection.
All right.
Don't give him the plunger.
Yeah, let's. Here, give me a hand. We can set this up real quick. If I can show you where to put the stuff, space it out, and then we can make this happen. And I'm gonna blame. People at camp are gonna be mad. It's fine. You know what? It's fine. We'll get through this. Here, grab this. And he starts like handing you sticks of dynamite.
No, no.
Like little tri bundles. He hands some to Wendy, some to Kelly, some to Oliver, and it's just like, okay, space it out every 5 feet, run cable between it, right? I'm gonna run the entire thing. Anybody here smoke? If you do, don't do it now. So, and you got to set up the dynamite in this area, right? A couple people ask him questions, and he's just like, "Hey, go back to your post." All right, and they begrudgingly head back that way. I would like everyone to roll luck, and I want to know who gets the highest number.
Got a 57.
The
95?
It might be Wendy.
the highest without going over.
Oh, just the highest number. Like who has the worst roll,
Frustrating
basically.
because my luck is now down at 94.
93.
Oh, close. What?
8.
8? Oh! The sheer confidence. Okay, yeah, this is set up very quickly, right? Just with Richard out there, he's an asshole, but you know what? He does know demolitions, right? So he helps move this process along very smoothly. It's very funny that it's Wendy. Wendy, is you going to put one of the tri-sticks of dynamite into the ground by one of the, like, close to where those tunnels are, you again see a glint of those yellow eyes, right? As you're getting like this all set up, and you absolutely swear, as these like eyes lock with yours, you hear it mutter, "Oh, sorry," and disappear back into the tunnel. And you hear Richard in the back is, "All right, yeah, get that thing in there. We're gonna run the lines. 5 minutes. We should be good to go, right? Localized detonation."
And like Wendy's gonna like look closer to where she was putting the dynamite in and kind of be like, "You might want to move. You might want to move," and like we'll put it in and trigger it, and attach it to the fuse, but like maybe make a little bit unnecessary noise in doing it. Now that it appears that it's got some manners,
just because
not everybody does.
Just because of the angle of the tunnel, it's a little hard to like see fully down there. But like the eyes disappear, you hear like a and just like a dragging noise as like something just runs down the tunnel back towards the mountain away from you.
Do we see?
Are any of their mounds disturbed now?
Yeah, the mound that was like in front of you like sinks a little bit.
Okay.
We good? I got the plunger ready. You give me the okay. We'll blow this thing.
Cecil dances out of the way and gets as far away as possible. So.
Yeah. Wendy's got like a moment of like shit. Like, this is essentially like a thing that has the ability to communicate, but it also might have been stealing a body to eat it or make more. Uh, okay. And she'll like stomp extra hard, like walking away from, like fake a fall maybe, just to like make some more on the dirt and get out of the way.
Okay.
Whoever she gets close to first of the Caduceus group, she's like, so there's a thing in there now, like right now.
You see Richard is off in the background, like explaining to a couple key people, like, this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing it. Like, I know I hate it. Spread the word though, because this is what the doc's recommending. Okay, rip our friends. We're gonna make a nice foundation, get a nice bouquet, and wreaths when we get back. It'll be fine. But press on, gentlemen. And he's like getting them all prepped for what's about to happen.
I imagine when.
Sorry.
I imagine Wendy says this to like Murphy.
like yellow eyes, and it saw me, and it went sorry, and like that's better manners than like 18 of the 20 people walking around right now. Like, but there's like that mound is now a little bit less full than it was before. So like, is it sorry because I caught it carrying somebody away, or did it like? We're gonna blow it up.
The fact that it has intelligence is what worries me.
It talked to me. Yeah, like should we be talking to yellow-eyed people?
We should tell some other folks about this.
Yeah, no. I feel like
People
this is like
smarter than us.
Kelly and Wendy are both like, we need an adult.
Exactly.
Here, Richard, like, in the background, like, okay, hey, I'm doing last-minute checks. Seriously, back up. We got about 2 minutes, and this thing's gonna go. I'll do one final call before I hit the plunger, okay? And he starts, like, double-checking the wires.
You said we're about to blow something up?
2-minute warning. I just gotta check all the lines, make sure this thing goes. And,
about to blow up. Stomp, 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 stomp. Okay.
Cecil is out of there. He's as far away as he can be.
I'm just gonna grab Wendy's wrist and just kind of pull her away.
Professor! Oh. Where's the professor? He probably, like, we should tell everybody, right?
Am I here? I really don't want to be here.
I assume that everyone's, like, backed off to a reasonable distance and kind of congregated.
We're backing away out of dynamite range. Like, I'm
probably
not
back in the truck, just like
turning the AC on.
About my plant or something.
So,
I don't know.
Caduceus trucks have AC because they have, some future tech. So it's just just soaking that up. On the door as Wendy, like, pounds on the window.
They can talk. Like, I think we should go to the mountain.
What? And I'll like roll down window.
Blast of cold air comes out of the truck.
Yellow-eyed thing in the tunnel, and it said sorry when it saw me.
What?
The thing we're about to blow up. They talk.
Okay, lots of things talk.
But it's not like mindless, like the.
Manners.
We
This
should
thing
talk
is intelligent.
to the mountain, shouldn't we?
No.
It also might have been stealing a body, but like the.
What? Why is it always like this? Okay,
Because my luck roll was really bad, and it didn't happen.
All right. Let me think. Should we try and catch one and ask it what it's sorry for?
Well, I mean, I think it might just have been sorry that I saw it, but like, do we go to the mountain and talk to them? Like, instead of, like, because now it's not, yeah, they're gonna blow things. yell at me.
Lines are good. 1 minute warning. Get back at this point.
I mean, like, I can't imagine I'm gonna be super happy about the tunnels going away, and then maybe, like, once again, trying to eat us instead of the dead people. But, like, there's something that can speak towards the demolition area. Like, maybe we still, like,
Okay, all right. And so Oliver like climbs down from the truck, and I'm just sort of gonna like walk over to where the plunger is, and like Richard's hanging out, and just like basically walk up with a knife and like cut the wire and go, "Who told you we were supposed to blow up the bodies? You're gonna put like the whole spore everywhere."
Richard is like, at the end of his, rant, where he's basically like, "You gentlemen will be immortalized forever, for the, as for your sacrifice for the North Borneo Charter Company, and we'll remember you for everything that you've done here, and, well, Godspeed and see you in the next life." And then, you have that line cut, and he's like, "Oh, what the hell?"
What are you doing?
Running the lines for the dynamite. Like, what do you mean? What am I...
Richard, dynamite?
Yes!
You remember I talked about stepping on the mushroom in the cloud? You're going to make a huge damn cloud. Who told you to do this?
He points over at Cecil. And he's like, he said...
Folklorist.
Turns around, I was like, waves.
How many times did he say, "I'm a folklorist"? Why are you listening to him?
No, look,
Look, Richard, I understand that this is a stressful time for everyone, and you want to take a big, decisive action, but this is not it. Now, look, let's not set off dynamite in the middle of the camp. Come here, walk with me. And so I'm gonna like put my arm around his shoulder, in so much as my like squeaky suit can like manage it. So it's like my arm's around his shoulder, but it's just like
over his like disheveled suit, like a cloud of dust kind of comes off of it as you it's like, look,
yeah.
I just, at this point, you're right. Like, there's got to be some type of bold action to show people that we are making progress, because the evacuation, like they all thought I thought we were gonna leave, right? And they all know there's one truck here, and they're putting it together. So something to make people feel better, right? So to show progress.
Here's what we're gonna do. All right, I don't want to alarm the troops with this. Okay, so I need you to keep this between us. But take a look at the graves. Do you see how some are sunken?
Wendy's gonna sidestep over to Cecil and be like, "We need you to talk to the mountain."
I will. Yes. It seems like our plans are changing.
Hold on.
Purely.
Hold on for 1 second.
Yeah.
So,
let Oliver think, but like we're gonna do the mountain.
Richard like looks at the graves and like, oh shit. I was wrapped up in the dynamite placement. I didn't even see that. Like,
exactly. Now something is amiss. Something is amiss here, and we are going to figure out what it is. Now, come here, and I'm going to take him over to the hole. Now, look. I told you, or no, I think someone told you, Cecil, maybe, that we had encountered a strange creature, not the famous orangutan of Borneo, but a much larger ape with 2 more arms than was entirely wholesome.
Excuse me. I assumed hyperbole, but he did mention that.
Yeah. Something else is down in these tunnels. Look at the claw marks on the walls.
Like, pulls out a little flashlight and is like looking at the tunnel. It's like, what in the hell is this?
Right under your nose.
I'm gonna like grab and be like, "Get back!"
Wendy is pleased that you know it.
Like, pulls out a revolver and he's like, "What was that? What is it?"
Now, stay calm. What I want to do is set a trap for it. If we blow it up, we'll lose our chance. I wasn't lying about the fungus cloud either. We have to be careful about that. But You've done a lot here under very sort of rough circumstances, and I think that catching this might be the key to unraveling the mystery of what's going on with the waves and the sinking. So
All right.
I need you to keep your men away. We'll set up a cordon around this area. And Wendy is actually, I know she's been a little bit brusque, but she is an expert trapper.
Let's say she's got kind of a chip
I
on
know,
her
I
shoulder
know.
when it comes to leadership, but
She lives out in the woods all by herself for most of the year. We brought her along for this because of her knowledge of traditional, Chinese medicines and herbs and the like. Plus, strangely fantastic driver. But anyway, she's going to set up a trap for the creature, and we need you to help us keep this area secure. Can you do that, Richard?
I absolutely can. Yeah.
Great. It's settled then.
Okay. And he like breaks off and then starts going to work, right? Kind of pushing people back and getting them going out around the area. It doesn't take very long. He's very quick about it. Because action.
I'm sorry, I heard my name spoken quite a few times over here. What's going on?
We're not dynamiting anything. Wendy found something sentient.
Cecil looks concerned, sentient, and...
Well, he might.
I mean, the Fae and the Slu are sentient, but they're quite evil sometimes. Though they're quite actually renowned for their manners.
This one had manners.
One had manners.
Yes, evil creatures can have manners. I have personal experience.
Shouldn't we find out? I don't know, just a thought.
Yeah.
Are we going down there, or are we going to the mountain
We
to
should
speak
go to
with
the
it?
mountain.
Ah, I see.
I don't think
Yeah.
our plan has changed. I just don't want to deal with whatever that is.
Oh, no, nor should anybody, and don't accept invitations from it, should it reach out to you.
What about gifts?
Oh, absolutely. At least in my experience, again, only a folklorist, if you give a gift to a fairy, it immediately has to return it.
Good to know.
That might not be correct for Borneo creatures.
So, okay. Cool. So I think down through the tunnel, is that the correct course of action? Am I...
I think we don't want to actually go through the tunnel. I think we want to go still, like, mountain, but not through, like, that seems dumb.
Okay, you want to take the back road up? You want to take the back road up to the mountain?
Yeah, or Wendy could try and trap a creature.
Sure. I am. When we're saying trapping, feel free to have me use a skill at which I have no points. But
I hate to be the one to say it, but we had either less than 24 hours to 48 hours before the box explodes, and we need to be very far away from that.
Yes, you're right. So let's stick with our plan. Let's go to the farm, then the mountain, or just the mountain. Are we skipping the farm now?
Well, this is the conundrum, because I have a feeling the more folks we save, the better.
Dare I say it? Do we split the party?
not now.
Not quite sure how we'd do. Do we have...
That ends up with Wendy underneath the mountain, is what that ends up with. I feel like whatever we do, that's what's gonna happen. So no.
Andy's smiling way too much at the thought of it, so let's not do that.
I mean, look, I love it.
Right. That's the point.
Well, because I love and support you as my players and all your crazy
They're gonna
shenanigans.
throw me into the volcano. No.
There are no active volcanoes on Borneo in this reality. So.
Farm and mountain?
I feel like that
Our might know
be.
something more about the creatures before we engage with them.
Yes, so let's go.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Farm.
Farm
All
done.
right.
Cool.
Readjust our terribleness and pop in the truck. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So you can head to the farm. Is almost 4. Let's take another quick break. So then we'll go over to the farm. But we will be right back. Yeah, we're back. And the adventure continues. So they're making fun of my bad jokes behind the scenes. I regret nothing.
As good players do.
Yes. So, heart. So after a little bit of weirdness with the survey camp, trying to figure out what exactly is going on there, you exit out and you're able to head over to the farm, right? It's a little tricky getting over there. Some of the locals, they throw some rocks at your vehicle as you're coming out. Right? They seem pretty upset, but again, the volume of people aren't at the gate anymore. There's only like 3 or 4, so you're able to just get the gate open, roll by. Yes.
Cecil does tell everybody about the dynamite and take some.
The shed full of dynamite that they have.
Yeah, and we take some.
Yeah, just a picture like one of those like standard old school crates of dynamite, with like 20 sticks in it. Yeah. Which I think you just kind of while no one's paying attention, like clipboard in one hand, crate of dynamite under your arm. Yeah, you hop in. Quentin stays back to keep working the analyzer, right? And you head over to the farm. Head back to that fork in the road, heading right, and very quickly come up on a large cleared area. The survey camp had a bunch of like semi-improved structures, right? You had tents, but they had like doors. They were a little nicer. They had been like built up in that way. The farm itself is basically a combination of the main farmhouse built out of like local materials, right? And it looks really nice, but it is basically just built from the local jungle, right? The wood that's nearby. And then a mess of lean-tos and cloth tents that have just been like shoddily erected all over the place as people have congregated in this area for some type of relief or medical aid, right? And it's just a sea of these things, and you can estimate, like I said, there's probably the initial number Quentin gave you was 200, right? People, so you're probably looking at like 50 plus tents, lean-tos, sleeping areas, improvised structures, what have you, just slapped together in a very confined area. As you come driving up, and you get close to the front of the farm area, and a lot of the locals, as you look around, kind of all look at you with these like sullen-looking eyes, and they have like droopy skin, and like you can see like a little bit of, some of them have like yellow pus on them, or like little things coming off their neck. They look rough, right? And it's a combination of the conditions and probably the closeness just accelerating their problems. Whereas the survey camp, they had fresh water, they had food, they had distance, so they could prevent some of the faster spread. This is bad. But as you approach, one of them in like a larger hat kind of just flags you down and says in actually pretty good English, like, you're not from the survey camp. It's like looking at the vehicle and like the logos on your boxes in the back. Like, who? Cousin! And they call for the main farmer, right? A little bit of like, who are you? What are you doing here? Done a couple times over. Kazan eventually comes out. He is. That's a cool description if I can pull it up. Maybe not. So. All right. So yeah, he's a very tanned individual with like a nice scruffy beard. Who usually we keep it in like fine shape. Seems to have grown out a little bit with tufts of like gray. His hair is the same way. It's like long and kind of matted down with sweat. And he kind of sweeps it back, puts his wide brim like hat back on, and says, "Okay, so I'm Kazan, and this is my tobacco farm. I understand you're from a medical organization here to help. Is that correct?" That's what I've been told. As you kind of went through the wickets of meeting people, right? Please, would you like to come inside?
Yes. If you'd have us.
If you have supplies, we would be more than happy to take them. We're in desperate need of everything. The only thing we have is water and... Oh, you'll see. Come with me. And he kind of walks you around the camp, and you kind of get a feel for the conditions, right? Like I said, they are dire. This is a situation where even if you didn't have a suitcase nuke that was going to go off in 24 hours, 48 hours is probably the lifespan of like most of the really badly infected people in this camp. A lot of them are bedridden. You can see the ones that are ambulatory, still having those weird fungal pus nodes on their necks, their faces, their arms. The people that look worse look like they have more of them and are having issues getting around. You see one person like pulling a rope to a bucket out of a well and kind of like filling up jugs of water. And there's a kid sitting on the edge of the well, just like staring at nothing. You can look around and see that the weird multicolored vegetables seem to be the main source of food here, as people are just kind of eating what is available off of the land, right? Anybody wants to is welcome to make a psychology check for the kid, or they can just go and talk to him, or do both.
Oh, what? Okay. I managed a psychology success. I got a 12. All right, and I have a 14 in psychology. Almighty.
Cut off.
Yeah.
All right. As you get close,
So psychology.
As you get close and look at the situation, person, check that box, pulling the bucket out of the well, dumping the water in. The kid like briefly snaps out of his haze and goes over to the person, starts pulling on their arm, and like tries to knock over the jug of water. And you can hear just yelling in, you don't understand the language, right? But the kid like grabs the bucket, tries to dump it out. The older adult like, pushes him back and starts yelling like, "Why are you doing this?" You can kind of get the conversation. The kid just knocks the jug over, and then you see the older adult like just smacks the kid and then proceeds to storm off, right? And the kid just like goes back to sitting on the edge of the well with like a big old like red mark on the side of his face, like just looking completely checked out. So, what do you do? Oh, sorry. You were successful with the psychology check. It looked like he was trying to warn him of something.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, any difference in the water lately?
Kazin's like, ever since the survey camp started their blasting, there's something bad. But it's the only water we have access to in the area. The river, they made a big mess of that, and well, we haven't had time to dig for anything new, and no one's really in any condition to do the work. So, maybe a week and some shovels, we could get another water source, but we need to get people back on their feet first. It's kind of a circle of problems, if you will. So, but the kid over there keeps talking about some poison in the water, and I don't know how to tell him that without the water we'll die anyway. So.
Where does the survey camp get their water?
I'm not sure. I assume they have supplies brought in. They have trucks. Before everything closed, they had trucks come by a week, every 2 weeks maybe. I don't think they drink the water here. Clemens doesn't seem like the type to want anything to do with this place other than what he can extract from it.
Yes. Cecil kind of like introduces everybody, but he says, we are from Caduceus. It's they try to improve things around the world. We are currently trying to work on a cure for all of your conditions, and that's moving along, but it will continue to take time, and hopefully that will clear up a lot of the things going on here. The trouble, I think, you said that there's something wrong with the water and the river, and everything seems to have started since Clemens came in and started doing his work. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Is there anything special about the mountain?
Well, he kind of waves you back towards his house to kind of sit down, right? As you guys are leaving, make a spot hidden real quick, and then he kind of coughs a bit. You know, you see like a little handkerchief, some blood, kind of dabs it away. Oh no, you're muted, Will.
Haha! I actually got it. Great success.
Nailed it.
Hey!
Mark that bad boy. As everyone's kind of leaving the area, right? Kazan says, "I'll tell you all about it at the house, please." Oliver, you linger for about an extra, 10 seconds to look around, and as you go to leave, your foot nudges something that was spilled out of the water when that bucket was being filled and that kid knocked over that jug. It's a small glass test tube with a strange yellow film.
Curious. I'll go ahead and pocket that or rubber suit it, whatever.
Mm-hmm. No stopper, mostly empty, just like a little bit of sweet residue. So, Kazan brings you inside, gets you settled. It's a nice change from like just the oppressive heat, right? There's no air conditioning, right? It's just shade. um, and he says, I didn't want to say it out there. Some people believe the mountain is very important to Borneo, the spirit of the island. And I can't say for me if that's a truth, but I can say that it has sentimental value to people here, and the materials taken by Clemens and his people are causing a lot of problems. Right? They don't care what it does to the river. They don't care what it does to the environment around, and they don't care how it impacts us. He hired a bunch of people to go dig for him, and about a week and a half ago, a massive landslide buried all of them.
Had there been landslides here before?
Natural, yes, but nothing that large. The mountain shifts, but this was not something I'd ever seen before.
Is anything unearthed?
Strange shakes, right? But I think it's the blasting.
Yeah.
Right. They just keep blasting away. They don't care about the people. They don't care about what it costs. They just want their money. So I think they would just blast the whole mountain down if they could make money off of it. But it's gonna destroy everything else around here. So
Have you seen anything unusual? You can see the iridescence in some of the plants that you're eating, and we know that it's bad, but
No.
have you seen it affect anybody aside from like the marks and whatever?
I found that eating the plants helps numb the pain of the sickness. We don't have access to as much medicine, so if people are hurting, we found out that eating the vegetables with the, some people call it the blessing, but on it seemed to help, let people sleep better, rest more. Unfortunately, it doesn't help the actual disease itself, but they get some peace out of that. It's like
And why would we go ahead? I'm sorry.
it's like they are able to just, I don't know, sleep or dream peacefully for a bit.
Cecil kind of thinks of like the kind of like weird energy that he sensed from the mountain, and like, are there any vegetables nearby?
I
Like
could
to look at?
get you some, sure. And he'll run out to grab some. He says also, well, there's a lot of weird. One of the people, unfortunately, she has passed since, but said there was a strange animal in camp one night. There's a snake with legs that just walked through in the dark.
A lizard.
She said it was the size of a person. no one else seemed to have seen it, and she's, like I said, unfortunately passed since then. I don't know if she was delirious or what, but
Well, I mean, aren't there giant lizards on Komodo? It's just the next island over.
that's very possible. She was convinced it walked on two legs and acted like a person. So, but let me go get you some of those vegetables. He's kind of realizing like everything's weird, but that sounds really weird. So he runs out and he comes back with like something that looks like a zucchini that's just been covered in like this greenish blue bioluminescent algae almost, and like sets it down on the table.
Am I getting any, just without even using like a power? Am I getting any readings off of this presence? Or
I'll do this because you messed with the flower earlier, but it was slightly different. Roll power this time.
yeah, you got it. No, I failed. Never mind. Failed.
You do recognize this power.
Actually, no, I can burn. I'll burn 1 luck in order to get it.
Okay,
Because
cool.
I'm just
Get it.
All right.
We do need a drug mode, actually. You know what? We might be short-sighted here. Do we have something similar?
Sorry.
Nope. Sorry, I'm looking at the chat. So you look at this, the power kind of surrounding this food and like surrounding this area. You can kind of feel it radiating around, and it's different, right? Because Wendy, you sense that like weird, subtle pull from consciousness, right? That weird distraction, that subtle, insidious influence. Cecil, you immediately connect this to some type of almost spirit or dream magic, right? The sensation is now very clear. And that kind of scares you. Considering how widespread it is. And then you start to think, well, what are the consequences of people eating this stuff? Are they actually getting better, or are they like leaving their bodies and spirit walking, or are they changing? Like, what is this doing to people as they consume it? And how is it affecting the island around you? Because you can feel the power kind of growing as you open yourself up more to this.
Cecil seems shaken, and he says, "Do you have any lore about? I know the Australians talk about the dream time. Do you have any dream myths or creatures related to it?"
What exactly are you thinking here? Because we do, yes.
I do have a feeling that this is connected to. I'm going to go out on a limb and sound a little strange, but this is connected to dream magic. Eating this may be why people tend to sleep a little bit better, or at least immediately go to sleep. This is not very... I don't know if this is going to be particularly helpful, especially if it's not curing your people.
Do you have medicine, food that we can use? Because this is unfortunately where we're at.
Understood. We don't have much with us, and what we have with us is what we have to survive on until we get back to camp, get the medicine, and give it to all of you.
Understood. The ground rumbles under your feet. The house kind of shakes. It's messy, to say the least, right? And as quickly as it starts, it stops. And he says that's happening so often. It seems we're at your mercy then. If you need anything from us for help, then what can we do?
Tell me about your dream myths.
And do you think Quentin would be able to do anything with a sample of the? Could we take a jug of water?
I think that would be good. Yes, as long as you give us safe passage back to our camp. I know a number of folks are rightly upset.
I'll spread the word about that if you're helping. He takes a breath to kind of go into the dream lore, right? And there's another quake. Everything shakes and rattles, and it continues. For about 30 seconds, a bookshelf falls over, the leg of one of the tables pops off, the couch falls. There's a lot going on. And as you look out the window, one of the glass panes shatters. The weird spotted bioluminescent effect seems to have spread. And where there were weird dots of it before, now there are whole sections of this jungle that are weird colors.
Does that happen every time?
Kazan looks at it and just goes, I've never seen that. That is crazy. So, I think Will's frozen. Hold on.
He might just be grumpy. It's fine.
I mean, he's not blinking and grumpy, so.
But
there he is.
Yeah, I thought about him.
So, as this thing changes, right? As the weird dream effect, if you will, the weird bioluminescent something moves through the forests, changes.
Okay.
What? Oh, yeah, you're good.
I wasn't sure if I was still frozen or not.
Oh, no, you're good.
Okay.
You start to hear yelling and screams from the back of the little tent area. As you look at the window, you can see the strange chromatic trees have reached almost all the way up to the end of that improvised tent city, right? And there's all this rustling and yelling. You can see people running towards the farmhouse away from the wood line. And then you see a tent get knocked over in the back.
We should probably leave, right?
So
Things are happening.
It gets knocked over because of the rumbling and the tree movement, or is there something that just knocked it over?
it seems like something rustles out of the trees. It's kind of hard to see because you're looking over everything. But something comes out of the trees, a tent falls over. You see the lean-to that's been kind of made with a wooden roof is smashed and falls apart. People are running and yelling as you look further back to see this large, kind kind of blackish purple looking thing with a bunch of different limbs smashing its way through the back area of this
We gotta
farmhouse.
go.
Yeah.
And Cousin just drops his stuff and is like, "What is that? What the hell?" And he like looks at you guys like, "What the fuck is that?"
Evacuation time.
Yeah.
We're leaving. Grab whatever you think is important. We're leaving.
Oh, okay, yeah. And he like grabs a few things, throws them in a bag, and is like, "Where are we going?"
Down the road, right? Back to the air. Like, yeah, if you all can start moving, do it.
Away from that thing.
Cool.
Did anyone bring the pain whip or the flute?
The what or the food? Sorry.
Did anyone bring the whip or the flute from Bolivia?
Mm-hmm. You have those things accessible, so yes, you can absolutely grab them. Right.
Yes.
So here's how we're gonna set this up, right? I'm gonna narrate this scene real quick, and then look at the time. Okay. People in large droves start just fleeing this camp. The people who can run, grab those who can't, and try to pull them along. Unfortunately, some people are just left, right, as everyone scrambles to grab what they can and start running down the road towards the survey camp, right? All in all, it's about a mile of like weird road distance. It just takes a long time to drive it because the car sucks, or the roads suck rather. The car is great. As the last of the people in the camp get on the road, I'm picturing that you guys take the car last to kind of follow up and like take a few people that are too sick to walk, throw them on the hood or what have you, like into the back, right, to make room and go.
Yeah.
As you start driving, there's people kind of running ahead of you. Two, and I will show you what they look like because I do have a picture of these. All right. Make the map go away. Make the map go away. There we go. Two absurd sized spiders.
Oh, gee.
Right. Purple and black bioluminescence weirdness about them. Just scrambling through, over, under, and around like all these different things in the encampment. They're just smashing through these small tents and like they just one of them just scrambles over the house that you were just in. Like part of the roof collapses under its feet. These things are huge. You estimate them to be about the size of your truck, maybe a little bigger. And then, like, that's their torso, and then the legs just make them even larger as they just skitter after you, right? You've got a good head start as you start to just...
Now it's time for that dynamite you brought, right, Cecil?
Right?
Yeah?
Oh, yes.
Just start moving, right? I'll say this. You can absolutely just floor it and leave these people. That is an option. As long as you are where you are right now, you have the ability to basically hold these things back. Maybe even kill them. Right? You're not moving very fast in the car, in the truck, but you're able to provide cover. So, question becomes, Wendy, you're in the driver's seat. Everyone else kind of sees this. What do? Right?
Dynamite time?
Yes. I cannot punch from a vehicle, so please.
I love the idea of just like Murphy with a fist out the window, like, drive me closer!
winding up.
Well, also what's it called? The fire pistols, right?
It's true. You got fire
I don't
pistols.
know if I have one of those.
We
They're
do.
fast. All right.
I know this seems like the saintly thing to do, and I do believe that it is. I think we should stay and fight and see what we can do, because even if we outrun these things, they're going to come for us and the people and everybody in the other camp. The more human lives we have to save, the more we can save when the medicine is finally complete. We've taken on worse.
There's one of these things, or
Oh, there are two.
Too.
So here's what happens, right? As you're all in the vehicle or by the vehicle getting set up, right? Like I said, the first one kind of just comes over the farmhouse and just towards the vehicle itself. Let me get everyone to make a sanity check against these scary spiders.
Nope.
Ooh, just made it.
I rolled 100.
That's good.
Super critical fail.
Oh no.
Super.
Or great.
Dope.
Nope.
Isn't this where you become crazy great at driving? And
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn us around and try and ram the thing.
Hell yeah.
that's a thing though, right? When we fail
Doing
like
well on
the sanity
sanity
thing,
so far.
we get,
You know, I've been sane a while. Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
but that's a thing. Like we get like crit fails and then get when Oliver got really good at like preparing magic and summoning creatures suddenly.
There is a
Really good. Yeah. Yeah, that had no deleterious effects whatsoever.
There is a mechanic for what do you call them? Insane talents, right?
Is driving one?
Driving is one. So if you're driven over the edge, there's a possibility that you can gain a cool ability that gives you neat benefits. But if you fail that check, comes with disastrous results.
Yeah.
There we go. Cool. All right, so now that I got my book good, who passed?
I think everybody.
Everybody? Okay. You take 1 point of sanity damage if you pass.
Oh, no, Murphy did. Sorry.
Okay. Wendy failed. And
Wendy got 100.
you got 100.
Yeah.
Okay. It is a D10 of sanity damage if you fail normally. At 100, this is going to suck because it's going to be 2D10. So, go ahead and roll.
Roll low.
It could just be 2, guys. It could just be 2.
If you get more than 12 in a go, then you...
If you get more than 5 in one hit, sorry, or 12 before you get to a safe
That was more
place
than
to
5.
reset.
It's okay.
5, you know.
Yeah, 5.
I rolled a 1
Okay,
and an 8.
cool.
So 9.
9. Okay, you can burn luck to reduce sanity damage. Or you can eat 9 sanity and go insane. Your call.
I mean, my current sanity is pretty high.
It's temporary insanity, so you will recover. It's just not going to have a good effect on you short term.
I rolled
Yeah.
a 3. So I'm shooketh.
Okay, you took 3 sanity damage?
Not insane. Yes.
Got it. Yeah, this ain't great, but what's Wendy's move here?
Assuming I'm now a little bit insane.
All right, so you're taking the sanity
Yeah.
damage? All right, let me get you.
Yeah. We'll burn luck if we have to for rolling again, but for now.
Seems good. Seems all good.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right, we'll roll 2, 3, 5. Ha! No way. Okay.
Way.
here's what happens. I'm going to give you an option real quick mechanically. So every time there's an insane talent, I roll twice to give you kind of a, here's one of the things that you could pick from, right? If I didn't do that last time, then I apologize, because this is the way I'd like to do it going forward. So the first one is an insane level of confidence, right? And that's more of a, like, I can lead or do anything I need to do in this situation. Like, people should listen to me, and I have the influence to make good decisions that people should react to, right? And the second one I rolled is, hey, I'm the best damn driver in the world.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, I figured as much. That's very cool. Cool. For all driving checks in this scene, you roll 2 dice and take the better number.
Nice.
If you fail both rolls, shit's gonna get crazy.
Yeah.
Like, catastrophically so.
Okay.
Which is very funny, because that kicks on. And that's an insane talent you can keep now on your character sheet. So you can choose to go insane and have that occur.
Nice.
And play that risk-reward game in the future. Temporarily, when you see this spider come over this farmhouse, and your brain just kind of detaches and breaks, there is effectively a almost personality split that occurs with you. Right? Temporarily, Wendy goes away. And some new type of persona emerges. And I'll leave you to kind of like spice up the fine details, but it is, you know, a complete transformation. It is different in every way. Maybe something you've always wanted to be or something you're scared of becoming, like, emerges from you in response to this. And Wendy is gone for a little bit. I'll let you take a second to think about that. Spiders go first because they are fast. So they come over this. One comes over the farmhouse. Another one comes like barreling through, smashing tents, like things flying up off to the side. They are chittering. They are making noises, and there's like a weird like power distortion around them as they're moving through. As they're moving through like the real world and not the weird bioluminescent nonsense that's spread forward. We'll roll a d4 for 1. Okay. Cecil. 1 scrambles towards you insanely fast. And goes to just snap at you with these insane pincers. Heading for your torso. Is a great success, so you can have the option to dodge or fight back. Your call. Dodge would meet the success, and fight back would exceed the level of success.
Say that again. Dodge with what?
So if you dodge, you need a great success to miss. Okay. If you fight back, you need a extreme success, but it will negate their attack, and you get a free attack. So.
Oh, that would be really cool. I'm a fight back.
Okay, go ahead and roll. If you don't hit the extreme success, then unfortunately they just bite you. So.
Maybe I dodge. Yeah, maybe I just dodge. That's a 50, and I only have a 40, so I don't. Cool. I get hit.
You can burn 10 luck.
I will burn 10 luck.
Okay. This thing just barely misses biting into you. You just dive off to the side. And you can feel the pincers and it's weird, like the weird. You can feel it just so close, it's almost like breath down your neck, but not as you dive for cover.
Squeak the rubber as you slide off of it.
Very nice. The second one. How smart are these things? Oh, hell yeah. The second one kind of does a weird thing and spits this webbing towards you, right?
Me?
Towards the vehicle and
No.
everyone there, right? Everyone throw dex, please, to kind of get out of the way of this webbing that it spits out.
Regular.
Regular success?
Yep.
Okay. Any success is good.
1 success, 1 under.
Okay.
Incredible.
It counts.
Regular success.
Nice.
I'm good.
You're good? Okay,
Yay.
cool. Everyone dodges. It hits the vehicle square, and the vehicle is currently stuck in just some weird goopy-ish webbing as it clambers closer to all of you. Nice. Wendy, or I guess not Wendy.
Yeah.
Whoever's driving now, you're up. What do? What's this new personality?
Right. Well, obviously this vehicle being stuck is not ideal, but so if we can do some all right, the way that it currently has it stuck is looking down at my wheels, that the webbing is specifically attached to the ground in one angle, so if I go backwards that it's not gonna continue to stretch it along its strength, but maybe it'll break that. So let's try and back the shit up real fast and hit this thing in the legs on one side, because those are the spindly bits, and if we hit those, the whole thing's gonna go down, right?
Cool.
So yeah, we're gonna do a nice check, yeah, fuck it, and reverse this thing real fast into the pokey bits of its legs.
Hell yeah. Regular success gets you out of the web. A great success gets an attack on the spider that will choose to fight back or dodge, depending.
Oh, what did I just roll? Damn. I can burn luck, right?
You can, but you should also be rolling.
I can roll. Because I got 34 and my great success gets to 33. Okay, yeah. Can I burn 1 luck to get a great success?
Yep.
Yeah, let's. Fuck
Cool.
it, yeah.
All right. Great success. It's going to choose to fight back because it is angry.
Yeah, well,
Do. Okay. You throw that thing into the truck into reverse. It snaps out of the webbing very quickly. You kind of drift backwards. You slam into its leg. It turns around and takes the massive pincers that it has, or massive mouth that it has, just bites through the top of the vehicle, and starts ripping up pieces of the truck. Do me a favor, because it rolled a 3.
I drove. Can I still take the fire bracer and give it a nice blast in the face?
Yes, but let me do this real quick, because it chose to fight back and rolled a 3, which is an excellent success. So, Kelly, do me a favor and roll dodge at disadvantage as it bites into the truck.
Okay.
Then you can take a quick blast back as you roll, right? Which is technically a compound action, but we're fine. It's all good. And then Cecil will be
Okay.
up next.
1 failed.
1 fail? Okay. Okay. You take 1 point of damage as you feel fangs kind of just sink into your shoulder. There's a little bit of twisted metal around you as well, and that's not great. Your shoulder starts just burning
Cool.
in an incredibly painful way. Please throw a con. roll.
Sweet. That's an excellent success.
Okay, very
Meets
cool.
beats, right?
Correct. Beats. Okay. You start immediately feeling the weird poison from the spider course through your body, right? You're a hardy dude. You got a lot of constitution. This is still bad. You take 7 points of poison from this one, right? You feel like it's going to. You feel like that's going to be the worst of it. But yeah, that was damage halved. So cool. Wendy, take your shot, and then Cecil, you're up.
All right. So for the fire bracer, just because which firearm we
Pistol.
It's
Say it again?
pistol at disadvantage, right?
Pistol at disadvantage.
Yeah. Okay. Because I got a 12.
So.
Which is good. But the other one misses. So no, never mind. I don't hit it.
Okay. It does recoil, right? As it's like got its face in the vehicle, and there's like a couple legs going through, and everyone's just like screaming and shooting and all sorts of stuff. Like just this massive burst of fire causes it to move back just a bit. Give everyone a little breather room to just be like, oh shit, okay, there's not a giant spider in the cab of our truck anymore. We're good. Oh god, my shoulder. Your suit is torn too as well, right? For Kelly.
Okay.
Cecil. You're
Yes.
up. Just a big spurt of blood across the front of the windshield as like Kelly's dealing with like this shoulder bite.
All right. Cecil, kind of girds himself and tries to like sit up and brace himself and takes out a gun. Are these close enough to smash with a shotgun?
Oh, you want to like pistol or rifle butt it basically?
Well, or just like put it in its mouth and hope for the best.
Oh yeah. Hey, if you wanted, yeah, go for it. I think it like, kind of like rears back and then comes back towards the vehicle again after the fire dissipates.
Mm-hmm.
So it lunges in. Go ahead and fire.
Okay, and is this luminescence and like the distortion? Does it feel like the same stuff I've been seeing in the vegetable? It's all like dream distortion shit.
Yeah.
So Cecil is just like, he's like, all right, come get it, you arsehole. And I'm gonna throw that, and I just made it. Regular success.
Okay. They've already fought back this round, so they can't get it.
Don't fight back. Just accept it.
Yep.
And actually, yeah, I tossed 2 more of these because they're crazy.
Shotguns are awesome.
That looks fun. I think that's right. Okay, so that's 12 points of shotgun damage.
Okay. Nice. Math. So. Yeah, it lunges in again for a bite. You'd blow half of its face off with the shotgun at point blank range. You see one of the fangs just go flying away, like just the weird like purple like just goop splashes into the cab. I think everyone else is like, ugh. But it just and falls back a little bit, dealing with that wound. Very nice.
Brace yourselves.
So, I think, Wendy slams the truck back into gear, starts to move again. Kelly, you're up.
Get him, Kelly. Revenge.
So.
Is it close enough for punch?
So.
I don't think so. Super punch. Go arm.
Is it close enough for punch? Hell yeah. No, so the first one like kind of backed off a little bit, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna reset and come at you again. The second one is like skittering towards the vehicle as well. So you basically have these like back and forth attacks on these spiders. So it's just a matter of like pop out the new sunroof and just start punching this thing.
Okay.
Which is very similar to what happens. Like the next spider the unhurt spider lunges at the vehicle, like gets 2 of the legs on it, like one kind of tears through the front hood. No damage to the internal, but just cosmetically just rips up the front and starts trying to get into the window.
Yeah, we're gonna set a punch on him. Well, there's no. Did we use the dynamite already?
We did not.
I'm gonna wait till it's further from the vehicle. I will punch this one.
Pro move. All right, yeah. This one will fight back because it has not yet.
Well, fine. Okay. That's a 3. That's an excellent success.
Yeah.
Cool. I definitely didn't beat that at all. I did roll a 69 though, so that made me very happy.
Nice.
Because I'm not an adult.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. Okay.
Damage, right?
Roll damage. Double it. Make sure you add your size.
Ooh.
Right?
Add my size.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, add it in.
You have a size modifier, I think of a D4 for punching hard.
I just have bonus damage?
Yeah,
Does
that's
that count?
the one, sorry.
Okay.
So, but yeah, take that and then double whatever you roll.
12 damage.
Ooh, yeah, get it,
I'm pretty sure that's max.
get it. So, I'm picturing that you just like start grabbing chunks off this car, like wrap like a piece of metal around your hand, just start punching this spider as it lunges in. Like there's a couple
Fucking
like.
try to poison me?
Yep. Like it feels better now as you're moving your arm around. Like your shoulder feels better now, but it like lunges in. You dodge to one side, it bam, bam, dodge again. You know, a couple good punches on it, and then like uppercut it back, and it just like hits the ground, like is stunned for a second, as it's trying to deal with the insane 1-2 combo you just gave it. Oliver, you're up.
Oliver is going to rummage in one of the boxes in the back of the truck for a second.
Okay.
And he's going to pull out something from Bolivia in a thing that's just marked dangerous. So he's going to whip his arm up like this, and out comes this long strip of leather with these red dripping thorns on it.
Nice.
And it basically goes up all the way out from the truck, like 100 feet into the sky, and you just hear this thunderclap. And Oliver is going to roll. I think it's unarmed with the whip. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's going to roll unarmed and crack the whip at the furthest spider.
Cool.
And see if he can strike it.
Do it. Now, to clarify, raw, like, technically there is a fighting whip skill, and roll unarmed. But, like...
Is there? Really?
Technically, if you break down every single weapon, there is a, like, fighting axe, fighting whip, fighting sword, but, like...
Really?
Yeah, it's a lot of skill points that I don't want to keep track of. So, like, you are Pulp heroes use a whip.
Okay.
So... I'm saying that for anyone who views this and is like, well, he doesn't know the rules. Like, nah, I'm just ignoring them. There's a difference.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I knew that there were different firearms skills. Like, I've been sticking to that, but, like, I thought everything else, like, melee weapons was just melee weapons.
Nah, it's so weird. Like, it could be, like, melee baseball bat and then melee knife and, like, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I trained mace. I don't know how to use a baseball bat.
Right. Like, there's enough
Hit thing with
crossover.
stick.
But it's Pulp. F it
Yeah.
up.
Okay. So we're gonna crack the whip at this spider, and if I'm just rolling unarmed, that's a 36, and that will work. Yeah. So if memory serves, what happens with this thing is
It's gonna have to roll con.
it's got to roll con, and if
Yeah.
it doesn't pass, it experiences nastiness.
Okay, I believe it needs an extreme con check.
Let me see.
Hard
Hard con
con. Okay,
or
cool.
fall to the ground in agony for 1d6 rounds.
Sweet. It needs a 45 to pass. As a hard con. It can't dodge. You attacked. Roll a d4 for damage.
Okay.
All right.
4. That's a 1.
Okay. So you lash out with this whip. It just flies up into the air. And then like
It's damage bonus though too, so I should roll another d4.
oh yeah, go for it.
That's another 1.
Okay.
Hey, I doubled it.
100%. And this whip just flies up and slashes into this thing. And for a second, nothing happens. And then there's a moment where the sky gets a little dark. Almost like when you're just hanging out at your house and like the lights just flicker for no reason. Because ghosts.
Oh.
And the whip, having grazed the spider with almost a mind of its own, whips around again and latches into its like the half of the face that's still there, and just claws down the front with these insane, just bright red marks. And the spider just shrieks as this whip just continues to like almost of its own mind rip this thing's face apart. And it just screams and just proceeds to start flailing. Like, it torso goes down, the legs go up, it just starts rocking and rolling in the dirt itself and has no ability to think any further. As the magic of that whip just like tears it apart psychically.
Current Wendy thinks this is great.
Wendy's like, yeah, give up! Cool, that spider's out of the fight for at least a little bit. Spider 2, which is the one that Murphy punched a bunch, is coming back for one last round of shenanigans, and would like to attack. And actually, you know what? They are smart enough, so it's just going to go for Murphy some more, I think. It does want to... You did punch it very hard.
I did.
You can choose to dodge or fight back, so it lunges. That is a regular success.
I could probably take one solid. I'm going to fight back.
Okay, cool. Hard success, and you negate the attack.
A 7!
Okay, cool.
My dice love and hate me today.
Hell yeah. Go ahead and attack.
Yes.
I will say you cannot get a critical hit on a fight back on it, but you still get the damage. So, like, roll punching damage. So.
That's 5.
Good hit. Okay. I think it comes lunging in, and you manage to just, again, get up over the top of the vehicle and grab one of the crates of ammo, like the big heavy metal crates, like move back and just smash its face down. Like the little fangs break off on the side of the car, and it just like slams into the ground. You just let go of the little crate, like it's just full of heavy metal, like a heavy metal, but crate full of water. And you just water erupts everywhere, and it just gets run over by the wheels of the vehicle as you smash it down, and it loses its balance. You start to drive away. So that spider is fucked up and probably will die, right?
Yay!
The other spider rolling around.
Kill it.
Yeah, 100%. Like you have succeeded in just murdering these things very quickly, right? As you're pulling away, you realize like most of the people at this point have used the time that you have bought them to just move down the road at a quick pace, right? And have gained an incredible lead. You start to drive away, and you can see the spider that Kelly smashed, like slowly just turning into a purple mist and vanishing. The other one is still kind of reeling on the ground and like legs going up in pain.
Like a death vanish, or like a I'm using magic to vanish?
Based on the amount of damage you did to that thing, it's probably a
Okay.
death vanish.
Okay.
You heard a very uncomfortable crunching noise when you hit it. And then it was exacerbated by the car going over it. So I think
Got
you
it.
can assume it is dead. But disappears in that weird purple mist, similar to the way the Night Gaunt did when you killed it, or at least ripped off part of its arm.
Quick question. The vanishing, is that like, it's like, and it was like never there, like a dream, or something like that? Is it kind of like that?
Yeah, it feels like that.
Gross.
Yeah.
Cecil just groans in the back.
So
Just uncomfortable and uncomfortable.
uncomfortable, but you did it. Da-da-da-da-da.
Yay, we saved them.
Oh wait, we have a thing for this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, a little channel emote. Yay! So there's a little bit of. Oh wow, there's a lot of sunlight coming in.
Oh,
Okay.
much.
Yeah.
Hey, you're
As I said, you
illuminated.
have this lovely halo now.
Right? So there's a little bit of back and forth, right? Trying to get everyone over to the survey camp. Eventually, Richard is going to relent, right? There's a combination of threats and the potential for a couple fights. And I think there are some very tense situations, but he eventually, mostly through you guys holding the cure hostage, I would assume, he relents and is like, okay, look, I'll just deal with this. I have the space, I have the room, I have a fence around my place. And so he starts letting people in because he doesn't really have much of another choice. You get a chance to get the vehicle back, right? You just drive the truck back over to the survey camp. You know, front hood's ripped off. The top of the roof has been just clawed away. There are some supplies that have been pulled off. Kelly's got like a big, like kind of like turning weird purple and black shoulder wound. You think the poison stopped for the most part, like it stopped burning, but it looks rough.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty rough.
Yeah, not a great start to
Don't
your
look so
day.
good.
And somewhere in the distance, the mountain shakes again.
Ugh.
And as it shakes, it shifts. See, the top of Mount Kinabula, right, shakes so violently, the peak collapses. A large chunk of it just comes rolling down. Luckily, no one's working up north, right? But even from where you are, you can see just trees smashing down and rocks becoming part of this very large landslide that comes down and grinds to a halt. And among all the dust and debris, once that kind of clears, in the like now late afternoon sun, you can see at the top of the mountain. So, thank you for the follow. You can see at the top of the mountain something glinting from the mid-afternoon sunlight. Something large, metallic, and potentially futuristic. Almost reminds you of a radio antenna. And we're going to call session there. So, yeah. That was fun. That was a good little fight. Things are starting to heat up, right? As we're getting into it. But yeah, had a good time. So
Ooh.
thanks for playing and thanks for watching. We're gonna pick up with this again in 2 weeks, right? Is that correct? 26? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll be back, and we will likely conclude the mystery of Borneo one way or another, right? Because we're on a timetable. At some point, the island will just explode. So we'll see how that plays out. But, we're doing all this for Extra Life, so if you're hanging out in the chat and just having a good time and vibing, we'd love it. If you've got some extra money to throw towards a donation, that's awesome too. Don't think of it as a requirement because it's nice just to have people and build a community. But, donations are always awesome because it's all for a good cause. But thank you for tuning in. Does anybody have anything else they want to bring up before we call it? Yeah, get it.
All right. You might not know it, but I'm an improviser secretly. I do improv not just in person but online. And this past year has kind of taught us that people want to see shows, but don't want to leave their houses sometimes, and don't want to pay money for stuff. And I completely understand that and get that and appreciate it. But what if I told you that on August 29th, it's a Tuesday, at 8,
September?
I think,
September? Okay.
of September. I think, wait a second, I should probably look up the thing.
Time has
I
no
will look
meaning
up the
anymore.
proper date.
First, you must travel
messed
to
it
the
up already.
past.
The 28th. I believe that is our show, yes. The 28th of September, we are going to have a show. Wait a second. I lied. I'm sorry. So the 21st of September, Tuesday the 21st at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you go to Hot Switch, at Hot Switch on Facebook, you will see a link, and you will be able to watch about 30 minutes of improv. And we do a very special virtual online form that harkens back to the days of just flipping through the channels, and that's kind of what we do. We have a ton of fun doing it. You don't have to pay anything, and it's just like a nice little reprieve from the real world.
Yeah, just
So
for fun.
check it out,
Rip it,
and
baby.
I'll put more
Slap
details
that down, dude.
in the chat
Yeah,
log.
dude.
So
Crack
thank you
one
so
for the
much.
big boy.
Awesome. And thank you, Bethany, for the donation. It is awesome. So,
Thanks for the day.
yeah.
Rip it and rip it, bud.
Grip it and rip it, bud. Indeed. But yeah, we're out. Next thing up on the channel is going to be Boyfriend Dungeon on Monday. Will's going to be streaming that again. So tune in. It should be 8 o'clock. And that'll be awesome. So keep the party rolling, and we'll go from there. If you join our Discord or jump on the Twitch channel, you can see the whole schedule as to what we got going on. But we're always doing some nonsense because we like gaming and it's for a good cause. So, but thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time we get together. Bye!
Thanks, everybody.